Chapter 325. Killing Fields Great Hall. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God sat there discussing the three battles from before. It had to be said, the battle with the female fighter was indeed a huge blow to Luo Feng. He wasn't afraid of losing. The scary thing was losing so badly. This meant he, Luo Feng, was still far from the pinnacle of the same level. There were definitely many stronger than him. Luo Feng saw a Killing Fields worker walking over from the corner of his eyes. Thunder God, too, looked around. There were only the three of them. He seems to be looking for us, Hong said softly. The Killing Fields worker was a skinny man with a sharp nose. He smiled and said, "Sirs, upstairs there's a meditation room owner. Please enter." Meditation room owner? Luo Feng was shocked, exchanging glances with Hong and Thunder God beside. The Great Hall was where many elites that had been specially nurtured rested and chatted. And the meditation room was an extremely private room. Many warriors would specially rent a meditation room for a long period of time, and the owners were usually at least universe levels, unless it was a rare few with too much money. Lead the way. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God stood up. All right. The worker led the way, very quickly following the spiral staircase. They arrived at the second level. The first level was an incomparably spacious great hall. The second level was a quiet and beautiful maze. Within the maze were many meditation rooms, many universe-level warriors, even domain lords, and even sector lords high above were all within. In the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, sector lords were the pinnacle of power. However, normally sector lords were active in the virtual universe Ganwu continent, and not in the Black Dragon Mountain Islands. After all, there were too few sector lords in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire to be able to frequently meet in the virtual universe was even rarer. Naturally, they were willing to go to the Ganwu continent. Over there, the strong were as numerous as the clouds. This is the room. The worker smiled as he stood in front of the door, gently knocking. Enter. A thick voice resounded. The door opened. The worker bowed respectfully. Sir, I brought the three guests. After which the worker left. Luo Feng and his two brothers carefully looked at the meditation room, where an incomparably tall and sturdy man had already stood up. His entire body was green and black, almost like he was made of steel. The three of you, please come in, the burly man said. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God weren't afraid, immediately entering the meditation room. After entering the meditation room, the entire room seemed to light up. Luo Feng looked at the tall and sturdy man before him and was suddenly shocked. This tall and sturdy man was wearing a battle robe on his left chest, and on it was a medal. The picture on the medal was two planets floating above a sea of blood. Universe 2-star mercenary. 2-star? Oh my God! Luo Feng was completely shocked. To participate in the Universe 2-star mercenary exam, one of the requirements was to reach the domain lord level. Hence, among the Universe 2-star mercenaries, the lowest was a domain lord, or even a sector lord. An area lord. What sort of concept was that? For example, the Silver Blue Empire, the Kaluo Empire, and other low-level empires in the universe did not dare to provoke a domain lord. They were experts who could carve out an area and be the master of it, and they could even receive the recognition of the universe. If one were to say that the universe-level warriors could destroy Earth, they would need to attack it time and time again. In that case, a domain master would only need to strike the ocean with a single punch, causing a great flood to drown the entire Earth and cause a great extinction. This was a domain lord, an absolute existence that could make the low-level empires in the universe tremble. Back then, the Master Dragon Star was only a domain lord, and the one before them was even stronger than a normal domain lord. Greetings, Lord. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God exchanged glances and said respectfully at the same time. Respect for the strong. This was an accepted etiquette in the universe. I've been observing you for over a month. The tall and sturdy man looked at Luo Feng and the other two, revealing a smile. Ever since you entered the Killing Fields, you've been training here every day, not stopping for a single day, am I right? Luo Feng was shocked. He was at least a domain lord, observing the three of them for over a month? Luo Feng turned to look at Hong and Thunder God. They too were in shock. However, I don't understand why you've been staying in the killing fields. Occasionally being in the killing fields is fine, but staying there for long periods of time, that's just a waste of time. The tall and sturdy man looked suspiciously at Luo Feng and the other two. Waste of time. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. What do you mean? Thunder God creased his eyebrows too. Hong looked silently at the man. Didn't your teachers tell you that the fastest way to evolve, the fastest way to improve, is to train in life and death situations? The tall and sturdy man asked curiously. This I understand. Thunder God said. Hong and Thunder God naturally understood. Earth's fastest generation of warriors was during the Grand Nirvana era and during the Muya Crystal era. Back during the Grand Nirvana era, within a few short years, humanity went from being weak and small to instantly producing large amounts of warriors, even to the Star Traveler level. And after a few decades, the Muya Crystal was discovered, producing a new batch of warriors. If you understand, why do you still stay in the killing fields? The tall and sturdy man asked. This is also a life and death battle. It's also incomparably difficult and dangerous. Thunder God said. Wrong. You're ridiculously wrong. The tall and sturdy man laughed, shaking his head. Looks like you don't have a teacher, or in other words, your teacher's standard is very low. Luo Feng and the other two listened carefully. For a domain lord to be able to speak to the three of them, it was their luck. Do you know why life and death battles allow one's power to rise so quickly? Comprehension fast? Evolution fast? Do you know the theory? The tall and sturdy man looked at the three. Luo Feng and the other two shook their heads. They really didn't understand the theory. The tall and sturdy man exclaimed, Between life and death, there's great terror. Between life and death, there's limitless motivation. Just like facing a needle piercing your eye, you can't help but close your eyes. It's a conditioned reflex. Against a life and death situation, every cell in the body will struggle like a conditioned reflex. Even the genetic material will accelerate and evolve. The terror between life and death will cause the body and even the soul to reach a pinnacle of evolution that humans can't achieve. In such a state, it's easier for a person to comprehend, evolve, and raise their power. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God all held their breaths. This is a conditioned reflex, or it could be called a life reflex. Against death, life will emit the deepest and most intense struggle. People train hard for decades and are unable to break through. Maybe a life and death situation will allow them to break through. The tall and sturdy man looked at Luo Feng and the other two. Between life and death, there's great terror, there's limitless power. This is why countless warriors risk their lives and enter life and death battles. Luo Feng muttered within. Between life and death, there's great terror, there's limitless power. Hong and Thunder God too were deep in thought. Warriors. The warriors I'm talking about are universe levels, domain lords, sector lords, and even the legendary Undying. The tall and sturdy man emphasized over 99% of them join the Universe Mercenary Alliance and go through life and death battles. The Battle Axe Coliseum, an incomparably cruel coliseum. Every life and death battle, there's bound to be one side dying. Such a coliseum, yet it's so popular, is because on the edge of life and death battles, it's the fastest way to evolve. The strong warriors in the universe, how many haven't walked through life and death battles? The tall and sturdy man looked at Luo Feng and the other two. That's why I'm curious why the three of you keep wasting time in the killing fields. Occasionally during these few days, it's considered training. However, the battles in the killing fields are training. There are teachers, etc. Yet they're unable to achieve the results of life and death battles. Because the killing fields and battlefields, even if you die, you can instantly revive. This is the virtual universe. There's no way for your life to feel the danger of death. Naturally, there's no way to evolve. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God completely understood. Why was it that after so many days, experiencing so many bloody battles, especially in the killing fields. The three of them had set up many strong warriors, causing them to be incomparably excited to kill. However, the three's body evolution rate was still the same as before. Hong was still a Star Traveler level 9. Luo Feng and Thunder God's bodies still hadn't improved. Maybe their techniques and experience had improved, but their bodies' foundations hadn't improved much. Right? There's no threat of death in the virtual universe. One doesn't feel any danger. After all, it's a virtual world. Death can instantly revive. Of course, there's no true fear, panic, fear, rage, etc. Luo Feng thought, simultaneously shouting within, Babada, what are you shouting for? Within his consciousness, Babada said softly, why didn't you tell me all this? Staying in the killing fields for long is a waste of time. Luo Feng raged. You can't blame me. You already have the golden horned beast's body. Hence you don't have any bottlenecks at all. You can constantly improve until you reach the pinnacle of Sector Lords. Why go risk your life and death? Even though the evolution rate is faster, the death rate is very high. When your strength is higher, it's not too late to go. I'm fine, but what about Big Brother and Second Brother? Luo Feng asked. Them? Oh, without any life and death threats. The star level is already the peak. Babada said. The peak? Why didn't you say so earlier? Only then did Luo Feng understand. Staying in the killing fields was a waste of Hong and Thunder God's time. The mission the Master gave me was to nurture you, and not to nurture Hong and Thunder God. When your strength is higher, you can go risk your life and death. I'll remind you then. Anyway, Hong and Thunder God won't lose much. The nurturing plan, everything will be based on you. Babada said it very clearly this time, when Luo Feng was feeling guilty towards Hong and Thunder God. Life and death adventure? Hong and Thunder God's eyes gleamed. No wonder I haven't been able to break through and reach the star level. Hong said softly, life and death adventure. Yes, that's the life that suits me. I've always felt that the peaceful days have no passion. My body feels weak, so that's why. Thunder God's eyes gleamed too. Third brother, are you prepared to go risk your life together? Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. At this time, the tall and sturdy man standing beside smiled. Life and death adventure. This is a journey that every strong warrior has to experience. Breaking through life and death barriers time and time again. Surpassing yourself time and time again. This is the path of a strong warrior. However, before this, I have to remind you all of one thing. The importance of the body's foundation. Different bloodlines have different evolution rates. Some people evolve easily in life and death situations. Some people in life and death situations, the difficulty of evolution is much higher than others. Some races, when they mature, can reach the star level, even the universe level, even the domain lord. This is the bloodline. Look, this is the list. It divides the human bloodline into 10 levels. You all first take a look which level your bloodline is roughly at. Maybe I can help you all on your path of evolution. Take fewer detours. The tall and sturdy man smiled and said, pointing to the screen, a list appeared on the screen. Monthly votes, dropping to such a level, I'm speechless. Monthly votes, just where are they? Does anyone still have them? Really, everyone, please vote for Tomato. Tomorrow 3rd, I will work hard. Chapter 3:26. Luo Feng turned to look. Hong and Thunder God too were staring intently. The human race in the universe is incomparably huge, with tens of millions of races. They could be roughly split into these 10 classes. The tall and sturdy man pointed at the screen and smiled. Luo Feng looked carefully. The list was extremely clear. First rank, human bloodline. Reaching the region lord at adulthood was the first rank. Human bloodline, 2nd grade. Reaching the universe level at adulthood, 2nd grade. The 3rd and 4th grades were all stellar level at adulthood. The 5th and 6th grades were all planetary states at adulthood. The 7th and 8th grades would be apprentices at adulthood. The 9th and 10th grades were all mediocre at adulthood. However, based on cultivation talent and other factors, the probability of a race producing a powerful expert was divided into the 9th and 10th grades. What is your race's bloodline? The burly man asked. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God exchanged glances. According to the description on the list, the bloodline of the Earth's humans was considered the 9th level. After all, the majority of the Earth's humans who had reached adulthood didn't make the cut. However, according to Luo Feng's plan, with large amounts of purple light drink, he believed that in 100 years, the humans of Earth would be able to reach the 8th grade bloodline. 9th grade. Luo Feng looked at the tall and sturdy man. 9th grade. The tall and sturdy man looked shocked at Luo Feng, before looking at Hong and Thunder God in disbelief. Yes, level 9, Hong said. So what if I'm in the 9th rank? We can still break through by ourselves. Thunder God said. The tall and sturdy man laughed. His laughter was deep and hearty, continuous. That's not what I meant. I'm just very surprised a 9th grade bloodline race, actually able to produce 2-star level 1 warriors and a star traveler level 9. This is rare, really rare. A 9th grade bloodline meant that one's foundation was low, and it would be very difficult for one to achieve great things. I admire you very much, the burly man said. And congratulations. Congratulations? Luo Feng and the other two were curious. Yes, your race's bloodline is relatively low, which makes it very difficult for you to break through and evolve. It's much more difficult than breaking through with high-grade bloodlines. But at the same time, if you use the evolution catalyst to improve your bloodline, it will be easier to improve your own bloodline, the burly man said. Evolution catalyst? Bloodline evolution catalyst? A shocked cry resounded within Luo Feng's consciousness. Babata, why are you so shocked? Luo Feng communicated mentally. Luo Feng, the person talking to you is definitely from a superpower. The bloodline evolution catalyst was definitely a restricted product in the universe. If one didn't have a certain status, they wouldn't even have a channel to purchase it. Only by spending thousands of times more money can you buy a bloodline evolution catalyst. Babata said, think of a way to get the bloodline evolution catalyst from him. That's definitely a top-notch item. Evolution catalyst? What does it do? Hong asked. Isn't our cultivation for the sake of evolution? Thunder God looked at the burly man in front of him, puzzled. The burly man smiled. Let me put it this way. The process of ordinary human cultivation is like building a house. Bloodline was the foundation of a house. A poor bloodline represented a poor foundation. When people with poor bloodlines cultivate, they're constantly building tall buildings on top of their poor foundations. As the buildings get taller and taller, they naturally have to strengthen their foundations again and again to make the buildings taller and taller. But the higher the building, the more troublesome it is to strengthen the foundation. And for those with strong bloodlines, it means their foundations are very good. They can easily build up to a 100-story building and directly become a domain lord. There won't even be any obstacles. The bloodline evolution catalyst. Its use is to change your bloodlines. It's equivalent to changing your foundations in one go. From a poor foundation, it'll instantly become an intermediate foundation. This will make your building process much easier in the future. Do you understand? The burly man smiled. Luo Feng, Thunder God, and Hong all understood. The bloodline evolution catalyst is unable to directly increase one's strength. However, it can make your future training much faster and easier. The burly man smiled. Of course, this bloodline evolution catalyst isn't sold in any of the shops or other places. As the cost of creating the bloodline evolution catalyst is very high, and there aren't many of them, naturally they won't be sold. Unless someone offers a shocking price, only then will they sell a portion. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God weren't idiots. An absolute warrior that was at least a domain lord had told them so much and even mentioned the bloodline evolution catalyst. Do you know who developed the bloodline evolution catalyst? The burly man asked. No idea. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God shook their heads. Virtual Universe Company. The burly man said directly. In the human world of the universe, the Virtual Universe Company with the strongest technology. This bloodline evolution catalyst was developed by them. Virtual Universe Company? Luo Feng understood. The Virtual Universe Company's network, it allowed anyone in the infinite universe to instantly enter the network and communicate with friends. What kind of technology was that? And the most shocking thing was the Virtual Universe Network. Not only did it exist in the actual universe, it also existed in the dark universe. It was even more shocking. The network, constantly traversing through the universe. What kind of technology was that? It was incomprehensible, profound, and unfathomable. Haha, I haven't introduced myself yet. The burly man smiled. I'm the Virtual Universe Company, stationed in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's Black Dragon Mountain Department, an external manager Mingyu. You can call me Mr. Mingyu or Lord Mingyu. Lord Mingyu. Luo Feng and the other two bowed. Luo Feng, however, was shocked within. My God, Babata was right. This burly man indeed had a huge power backing him. The Virtual Universe Company. This was one of the 5 great leviathans of the human world, much stronger than the Ganwu Universe Country. Even the Yun Mo Planet Master, before the Virtual Universe Company, was just an ant. After all, even the Yun Mo Planet Master didn't dare mess with the Ganwu Universe Country. And the Virtual Universe Company was spread across large amounts of universe countries. What kind of power was that? A department in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, sending out an external manager, was at least a domain lord being. Powerful. It made one's heart tremble. So Lord Mingyu is from the Virtual Universe Company. Thunder God praised. The tall and sturdy Mingyu smiled. He too felt proud of this. Originally, the troops of the 5 great leviathans would naturally have a sense of superiority. This bloodline evolution catalyst was created by our Virtual Universe Company. The tall and sturdy Mingyu smiled. However, the bloodline evolution catalyst is a restricted item. Very little of it circulates outside. Even if one has the ability to buy it outside, the price would be terrifyingly high. However, if one were to join our Virtual Universe Company, to the internal members, especially the absolute elites, we can even provide them for free. Free? Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God were stunned. Rich and overbearing. This Virtual Universe Company was indeed rich and overbearing. Right, in terms of wealth, who could compare to the Virtual Universe Company? For example, in the Slaughterhouse's slaughter space, a Sector Lord Level 1 Spirit Reader would spend 3.5 billion Ganwu dollars a day. Just how shocking was the wealth of the Virtual Universe Company? They didn't even dare to think about it. The Yun Mo Planet Master probably couldn't even compare to a strand of hair on their thighs. Yes, free. The tall and sturdy Mingyu looked at Luo Feng and the other two, his eyes gleaming. Our Virtual Universe Company has been searching for geniuses and elites from the many universe countries, and the 3 of you can be considered geniuses. Your consciousness strength is really very strong. Star Level 1, your consciousness amplitude has exceeded 36. Luo Feng blushed with shame. His consciousness strength was strong because of the Golden Horn Beast. You two are not bad. Star Level 1 with a domain. The tall and sturdy Mingyu looked at Thunder God. The 2 of you can be considered Level 3 elites. The tall and sturdy man finally looked at Hong, his eyes gleaming. Of course, the most powerful is you, a Star Traveler Level 9. Not only with a domain, you've reached Level 3. 2, your comprehension, it's simply too shocking. You could be considered a Level 1 elite. You could be considered a Seed elite. Luo Feng was speechless. Relying on the Golden Horn Beast's powerful consciousness strength, he was actually only considered a Level 3 elite. Before, I've arranged for 2 people to battle with you. The tall and sturdy man pointed at the screen. On it appeared 3 videos, one of the white-robed female fighter and the white-robed youth. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God weren't surprised at all. They had guessed that the 2 powerful people that suddenly appeared were arranged by the person before them. She belongs to our Virtual Universe Company's special elite, and he is a Level 2 elite. The tall and sturdy man explained. Special elite? Luo Feng and Thunder God stared at the white-robed female fighter in the video. Even the Star Traveler Level 9, with a Level 3 domain, Hong was only judged as a Level 1 elite. And this female fighter before them was actually judged as a special elite. No wonder when this female fighter fought with Thunder God and himself, It was as easy as playing. The universe is vast. There are countless countries like the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Geniuses, of course, there are even more. Our company nurtures seedlings. They're divided into special, level 1, level 2, and level 3. These 4 levels are just the divisions of our Black Dragon Mountain department. If it were the main company, the divisions would be even stricter. The tall and sturdy Mingyu said. These words made Luo Feng and Thunder God completely stunned. In the Black Dragon Mountain department, the two of them were considered the bottom. Don't be discouraged to be judged as a genius by our company, even the lowest level 3 elite. Amongst the fighters and spirit readers, they're top-notch. The tall and sturdy Mingyu consoled them. As long as you're willing to join the Black Dragon Mountain department. Oh right, I still don't know your names. Luo Feng. Thunder God. Luo Feng and the other two didn't hesitate. These 3 names weren't taboo. To a huge entity like the Virtual Universe Company, they probably already had their names and information. Luo Feng and Thunder God. The moment you two join, you'll get a Bloodline Evolution Catalyst for free, and Hong, he'll get an S-type Bloodline Evolution Catalyst. The tall and sturdy Mingyu looked to the 3. Are you willing to join our Virtual Universe Company? P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. After a long ride home, they hadn't eaten dinner yet. However, Tomato was finally free. He would work hard to write. This was the first chapter. Today's goal was to write 4. Brothers, monthly votes. Chapter 3:27. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Lord Mingyu, I have a question. Hong looked at the tall and sturdy man before him. If we join the Virtual Universe Company, what do we need to do? What are our duties? In the beginning, you were weak and the company was nurturing you. Therefore, the management was very strict. You must obey the company's orders, go through training, go through life and death trials, etc. However, as your strength increases, your freedom and authority will continue to expand. Universe level, domain lord, sector lord, the stronger you are, the more freedom you have. You only need to do some things at the crucial moment. Mingyu said directly. Luo Feng and the other two hesitated. Strictly monitored? Hong and Thunder God were the founders of martial arts dojos. How could they endure the strict management of others? If they are weak, can't they move freely during the period of nurturing? Hong asked. Luo Feng and Thunder God looked at the tall and sturdy man before them. There's a holiday, a prescribed holiday. The burly man said solemnly. The period of nurturing those who are weak is very strict. You must understand this. Vacation? With the Virtual Universe Network, we can meet and chat with family and friends. Actually, holidays don't have much meaning. Hong, Thunder God, and Luo Feng all shook their heads. Unacceptable. Training period? Maybe the entire star level in the Virtual Universe Company was designated as a nurturing period. Over 100 years, or even longer, it was strictly managed. Luo Feng and the other two couldn't accept it. Mingyu frowned slightly and sighed in his heart. He couldn't stand the strict management. He had encountered such situations many times. As an external manager, he often invited geniuses to join his Virtual Universe Company. However, since they were geniuses, there were powers that tried to rope them in. Most of these geniuses were arrogant and unruly. How could they be willing to be under strict management for a long period of time? Thus, there were many who refused. But the important members of the Virtual Universe Company had to go through strict management, brainwashing, etc. We cannot accept it, Hong said. Oh, of course. Mingyu smiled. What I said earlier was internal members. Our Virtual Universe Company is split into internal and external members. Internal members have many benefits, and the management is stricter. As for the external members, they had more freedom, but the benefits were much less. They are far inferior to the internal members. For example, I am an external deacon. Mingyu laughed. If you guys become external members, although you won't be able to obtain the Evolution Catalyst for free, you can still purchase the Evolution Catalyst. If you buy the first set, you can enjoy the low price. The price for a second set is higher. An ordinary external member can only buy 3 sets at most. How much? Luo Feng asked. Bloodline Evolution Catalyst. Buying the first portion, price is 100 million Ganwu dollars. If it's the second one, it would cost a high price of 1 billion Ganwu dollars. Mingyu said, Bloodline Evolution Catalysts are very rare in the outside world. Only those with heaven-defying methods would be able to get their hands on them. The price is also very exaggerated. At the same time, the Virtual Universe Company strictly forbids you from selling the Evolution Catalysts if you are discovered to be secretly selling them. Die, Mingyu said casually. Luo Feng immediately gave up on selling it. These are some of the rules for becoming an external member of our virtual company. Take a look and see if you can accept them. The tall and sturdy man, Mingyu, pointed at the screen. Immediately, a large number of rules appeared on the screen. 5 minutes later, welcome to the Virtual Universe Company. Right now, you're all external members of our Virtual Universe Company, Black Dragon Mountain Apartment, temporarily under my control. If there's anything, you can send me a message. The tall and sturdy Mingyu smiled. Yes, Lord Mingyu. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God bowed slightly. After leaving the slaughterhouse, Zhang Xian returned to his residence, 9-Star Bay on the Black Dragon Mountain Island. External members really have a lot of freedom. They actually allow us to join normal organizations, even allowing us to join the Ganwu Dojo. That's unbelievable. Thunder God walked along the cobblestone path of the lake, exclaiming in shock, they only forbid us from joining the Battle Axe Dojo and other powers from other universe countries. The Virtual Universe Company's Warrior Department was split into internal and external. The internal was the most loyal and also the most important part of the Virtual Universe Company. They were absolutely forbidden from joining other powers. The external was much more relaxed. For example, a sector lord of the Ganwu Dojo, upon receiving an invitation, could join the Virtual Universe Company's external department. Usually when there were important battles or matters, they could let the external members fight for them. Usually, there weren't many restrictions on the external members as long as they didn't join other superpowers of the same level. The Virtual Universe Company doesn't even put the Ganwu Dojo in their eyes. Luo Feng smiled. Ha! Joining the Virtual Universe Company, Luo Feng, I originally wanted you to borrow the Ganwu Dojo's power. However, if you can have a high enough position in the Virtual Universe Company's external department, that's still impressive. That's still incredible. Babata was very excited. Big brother, second brother, do you have enough money to buy the evolution catalysts? Luo Feng asked. Enough. We still have enough. Hong and Thunder God said. Luo Feng felt helpless within. The main thing was that his funds were indeed tight. Because of the large amounts of metals that were 89 times faster, madly swallowing them to evolve his internal world, he believed he would be able to break through to the universe level in less than a year's time. The universe-level Golden Horn beast required 100 or even 1,000 times more expensive. His own money, calculating, he didn't have enough. Back then, that teacher of mine probably didn't expect his disciple to have a Golden Horn beast body. The Golden Horn beast, it really is a gold-consuming cave. Luo Feng thought within. Third brother, after discussing with the external department, I've decided to prepare to go to the Universe Mercenary Alliance to sign up. Hong's eyes gleamed. Even though I'm still unable to take the trainee exam, however, I can't hold it in any longer. Me too. Thunder God licked his lips, his eyes gleaming with a wild glint, dancing on the edge of life and death. Only these days are exciting. You all. Luo Feng was stunned. Third brother, are you coming or not? Hong asked. Shall we go together? Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. Among the fighters of Earth, how many of them were cowards? Go, of course we'll go together. Luo Feng said. Huh? Thunder God laughed loudly. Brother. Hong patted Luo Feng's shoulder. Luo Feng looked at his two big brothers whose hearts were already burning with passion, thinking within. Adventure? Yes, I too want adventure. The feeling of dancing on the edge of a blade is indeed wonderful. Back then in the wilderness, battling with the monsters to the death, that kind of feeling made one's heart skip a beat. If big brother and second brother really meet with danger he can't defend against, I can also release the Golden Horn beast body and save them. Luo Feng thought. The existence of the golden horned beast had to be kept a secret. However, if he met with danger he couldn't defend against, he would definitely release the golden horned beast. Killing Field's Great Hall. An incredibly old green-skinned old man sat in the corner of the great hall, holding a cup of water. That wrinkled forehead was raised, his muddy eyes occasionally looking around. He was the person in charge of the Black Dragon Mountain Island's killing fields. Man Luo, a rather famous old man here. At this time, the tall and sturdy Ming Yu swiftly walked over, immediately arriving before the green-skinned old man. "Lord," Ming Yu said softly, "how is it?" The green-skinned old man's muddy eyes looked at him. Ming Yu lowered his head respectfully. "Lord's guess is very accurate. The three of them aren't willing to join the inner circle, only joining the outer circle. And that Hong is indeed very powerful. Star Traveler level 9, Domain level 3. Domain level 3? The green-skinned old man's eyes gleamed. His originally muddy eyes suddenly became extremely clear, almost as though they were filled with endless wisdom, able to see through one's soul. Before this old man, this universe 2-star mercenary Ming Yu was incomparably respectful. That was purely from the bottom of his heart. Very good." The green-skinned old man smiled and nodded, his eyes regaining their muddy look. To be able to discover a level 1 elite, that's not bad. After all, special elites, that's something that can only be discovered and not sought. Such a genius, indeed, cannot be forced. To be able to join the outer circle is already not bad. Let them develop on their own. "Yes," Ming Yu said respectfully. The so-called inspection of Luo Feng and the other two, the so-called observation for a month, these were all orders from Lord Man Luo. Ming Yu himself, actually wouldn't have the time to leisurely observe Luo Feng and the other two for a month. Earth. Spring was warm, and the flowers were blooming. In China's Yangzhou city, a C9 grade dark blue triangular universe ship floated in the air above the castle. This was the ship Luo Feng and the others had just bought, spending 11 billion Black Dragon dollars. To the current Luo Feng and the others, this indeed wasn't a huge sum. After all, the planet's defense system alone cost Luo Feng tens of times more than the ship. "Don't cry. Daddy is only going out, and we can still meet in the virtual universe. Come, be good, give Daddy a kiss." Luo Feng half squatted in front of his two sons. The two very cute and handsome boys kissed Luo Feng fiercely a few times on his cheeks, hugging him tightly, seemingly reluctant to part. "Son," Luo Hong patted Luo Feng's shoulder. "I won't say much. Take care of your safety outside." "HM, right, where's Luo Hua?" Luo Feng looked around. Zhun Nan, who had come to send them off, said, "Luo Hua, these few days his financial investments have been extremely tense. Right now it's trading time. He doesn't dare relax at all. Hence, he told me to tell you, when we return to the virtual universe, I'll apologize to you." "This punk." Luo Feng shook his head and laughed. Luo Feng said his goodbyes to his family. Beside him, Hong's and Thunder God's families also sent them off. After which, Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God brought their two slaves and boarded the universe ship. "Who?" The dark blue triangular universe ship slowly rose into the air. Under the watchful eyes of the three families, it swiftly flew into the atmosphere and disappeared from their field of vision. P.S. The second chapter is here. Tomato. Continue writing the third chapter. Chapter 328. The universe ship flew for about 8 hours in the dark universe, passing through the universe and arriving at Bylon Star, 11,800 light-years away from Earth. Bylon Star North, extremely cold region. A C9 grade dark blue universe ship landed in front of the castle in the center of the warehouse. The castle guards immediately came forward to welcome them. "We'll first stay on Bylon Star for 3 days. The Virtual Universe Company will need about 3 days before they can send the Bloodline Catalyst over." Luo Feng immediately jumped down for the cabin door. Stepping on the thick snow, crunching sounds could be heard. Beside him, Hong and Thunder God jumped down too, walking beside Luo Feng. Luo Feng was dressed in a blood-red armor, his waist belt tied tight, his armor fluttering in the cold wind. Thunder God was dressed in a white armor. Hong was dressed in a black armor, of which Luo Feng and Hong's armor were made from the cloud contact vine. Only Thunder God had specially bought a level 2 genetic energy armor. That external department Mingyu. He bragged about the bloodline catalyst so much, who knows if it's true or not. Thunder God muttered, "In the virtual universe network, I can't even find any information about the bloodline catalyst." "Then your authority is not enough." Luo Feng smiled. "Searching for information in the virtual universe network with our normal identities, finding some unimportant, unclassified, public information is very easy. However, some restricted information requires a high enough level of authority to view it. TSK, levels are everywhere." Thunder God shook his head. "What places don't have levels? The rich and the poor, those in power and normal people." Hong smiled indifferently. On the evening of the third day on by Lawn Star, due to the reflection of the snow, the sky was still relatively bright. A disc-shaped dark gray universe ship didn't even stop at the planet's docking bay, instead flying straight to Luo Feng's warehouse base. On this universe ship, there was a huge virtual universe logo representing its identity. Rumble, the ship stopped. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God stood on the snow, raising their heads and looking at the ship. Hua, the cabin door opened. 3 men and women dressed in black armor. The leading lady was carrying a briefcase. The other 2 followed beside her, directly flying out from the cabin door, landing in front of Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God. The leading lady wore black glasses. As she looked at Luo Feng and the other 2, her glasses flashed a string of data that only she could see. Identity confirmed. The transaction can be completed. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, these are your bloodline evolution catalysts. The white-skinned, cold-faced lady immediately opened the suitcase. Within were 3 colorful, syringe-like tubes filled with colorful liquids. With a kacha sound, she closed the suitcase and handed it to Luo Feng and the other 2. "Thank you." Luo Feng extended his hand to receive it. The 3 men and women immediately turned and flew into the universe ship. In a few seconds, the ship took off and rushed into the sky, breaking through the atmosphere and leaving by Lawn Star. Bloodline evolution catalyst. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God looked at the briefcase. "Go, let's go in." Luo Feng shouted. "Haha, I can't hold it in any longer." Thunder God's eyes lit up. Luo Feng and the other 2 each took a portion of the bloodline evolution catalyst and entered their own training rooms. Bloodline evolution catalyst. Luo Feng looked at the colorful liquid in the long needle in his hand. This liquid was incomparably beautiful, so beautiful that it made one's heart tremble. "Begin." Without hesitation, he immediately took off the cap of the needle and pierced it into his skin. Slowly pushing it out, the colorful liquid within the needle began to seep into Luo Feng's body. Almost like a crazy cancer cell, it began to madly devour every cell in Luo Feng's body. The pain of being sliced by 1,000 knives rushed into his mind. "Damn!" Luo Feng gritted his teeth and curled up on the ground. His teeth were clenched tightly, making noises. His gums were bleeding and fresh blood flowed out from the edges of his lips. "It really hurts." "Luo Feng, bear with it. This thing changes your bloodline from the deepest part. It is indeed very painful. Bear with it. Just bear with it and we'll be fine." Babada consoled. "How much longer?" Luo Feng felt his consciousness trembling. "Very quickly, not even an hour." Babada said. "An hour?" Luo Feng could only grit his teeth and endure. No matter how painful it was, he had to endure. Luo Feng didn't hear any howls from the 2 training rooms beside him. Obviously Hong and Thunder God were also enduring the immense pain. "Humph. Hm." Luo Feng's nose emitted a painful groan. And within his body, every single cell in Luo Feng's body had become a battlefield. Whether it was his muscle cells, bone cells, etc., they were all in battle. The evolution of the human bloodline, according to logic, was a long and gradual process. And the bloodline evolution catalyst was developed by the Virtual Universe Company to speed up this fundamental evolution catalyst. The cost of each one was very high. Within the training room, Luo Feng laid on the ground with his arms spread wide open. His clothes were all wet and stuck to his body, showing off his incomparably strong and muscular body. At the same time, his entire being was extremely tired as he laid there without moving. So tired. Too tired. My entire body has completely dispersed. I don't even want to move a finger right now. Luo Feng's consciousness said to Babada. However, there's a comfort that comes from bones. It's really very comfortable. The bloodline evolution process is definitely painful. However, after the evolution, it's naturally very comfortable. This process actually consumes a large amount of your own life force. You should hurry and use the Muya crystal. It contains a large amount of life force and is a treasure that can accelerate the evolution process. It's best if you use it now. Babada said. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. Inform my big brother and second brother to use the crystal. Luo Feng ordered. Babada used his communicator to inform Hong and Thunder God. Within Bailan Star, Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God were all immersed in their training. One Muya crystal contained a shocking amount of energy. Normally, Luo Feng would only need to spend a little bit of time every day to completely fill up his body. And today, after going through the bloodline evolution, his starving body was madly absorbing the Muya crystal's energy. It's incomparably beautiful. Luo Feng sat cross-legged, holding a Muya crystal in his hand. Large amounts of life, force, energy madly entered his body. Every single cell that had just undergone a fundamental change was incomparably hungry as they madly swallowed the energy. They were all too hungry. Every bit of energy that entered his body was immediately swallowed. This absorption process continued on and on. Roughly 23 hours later, the Muya crystal was completely absorbed. Luo Feng took out another Muya crystal. The process of absorbing the Muya crystal's energy was also part of Luo Feng's body's evolution. As his body continued to evolve and grow stronger, naturally, Luo Feng's ability to absorb spirit energy also increased. Large amounts of pure spirit energy entered his consciousness from his original life core, causing the spirit energy in his consciousness to increase. Rumble, the blood-red psychic power, surged like the waves of the sea of blood. Then it gathered crazily and formed a huge blood ball. It kept expanding and contracting as if there was only one blood ball in the entire world. With the final contraction, the entire sea of consciousness rumbled and a dazzling miniature star was formed, along with the original miniature star. In his consciousness, the new star revolved around the old star. The old star also revolved slightly, forming a twin star structure. Chi-Chi, an even purer spirit energy, after being purified by the two stars, was like a thin mist that permeated the entire consciousness. At the same time, the void pagoda in his consciousness also began to transform. Star Level 2. Luo Feng's body had already stepped from the Star Traveler Level 7 to the Star Traveler Level 8. His spirit energy had already stepped into the Star Traveler Level 2. One day later, Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle, becoming a beam of light, swiftly flying through the northern region of Bailan Star. His terrifying speed even caused the hard snow below to split apart, forming a ravine. A frozen snow mountain was madly pierced through by a golden swordfish, after which it exploded, large amounts of snow falling down. Awesome! Luo Feng stood in mid-air, watching the snow mountain collapse, extremely carefree. Third brother. Third brother. Two voices resounded from a distance. They're here. The soaring shuttle beneath Luo Feng's feet drew an arc, flying like lightning into the distance. In the distance, two men stood in the snow, one dressed in black and the other in white. It was Hong and Thunder God. The current Hong and Thunder God were in high spirits. They had just used the bloodline evolution catalyst and were reminded by Luo Feng to use the Muya crystals. The two of them immediately used them. At this time, the effects were the best. Hong indeed broke through the barrier and reached the Star Level 1. and Thunder God took the opportunity to reach the star level 2. However, such an opportunity was hard to come by. The bloodline evolution catalyst was only effective once. The second use would have almost no effect. However, Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God were very satisfied. After all, the bloodline evolution catalyst's most important effect was allowing their future evolution path to be even faster. Third brother. Hong smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng descended, landing on the snow. Third brother, big brother, and I are thinking of applying for the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. What do you think? Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. Universe Mercenary Trainee exam? Luo Feng froze. That's right, big brother is now a star level 1. He could take the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. This Universe Mercenary Trainee exam is one of the many exams of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Back then, his good brothers Hral and Bulemu went to take the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. This entrance exam is to eliminate those who aren't suited for this life and death path. The method of elimination is mostly death. Only if you're lucky can you keep your life. Hence, this mercenary trainee exam has a high death rate. It's famous. Universe Mercenary Trainee exam? Luo Feng muttered. How is it? Hong and Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. When are you preparing to leave? Asked Luo Feng. Of course, the sooner the better. Thunder God couldn't help but say, of course. Before this, let's first take a good look at the virtual universe network, what we have to take note of during the mercenary trainee exam. P.S. Chapter 3 has arrived. Tomato continued writing Chapter 4, Brothers, Monthly Votes. Chapter 329. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God sat around a stone table with a floating screen in front of them. On the screen were large amounts of information regarding the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. The Universe Mercenary Trainee exams are all conducted in the Sector Lord's world. In the Sector Lord's world, other than the dangers of the world itself, the greater danger comes from the other participants of the exam. Robberies can happen at any time, and other people can steal the items you obtain. Luo Feng read the information and frowned. Participating in the trainee exam. If you're a star level 2 or 3 stage newbie, it's best to find a star level 8 or 9 stage to form a team. That way, you'll at least have the ability to resist or escape from a robbery. Never, ever go in with just a few star level 1 or 2 stage newbies. Even if you're lucky and get the items, they'll still be robbed. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God finished reading the information and exchanged glances, speechless. So the most dangerous ones are actually the other participants of the mercenary trainee exam. Thunder God shook his head helplessly. The human heart is the hardest to predict, emphasized Hong. Fortunately, we brought 2 servants with us. Even though Luo Feng felt the heavy pressure, he wasn't too nervous. Because when he left, to prevent any trouble, Luo Feng brought along 2 star level 9 slaves. One had he had bought a group of star level 9 slaves. Of these 2, one was a spirit reader and the other was a fighter. They were 2 of the most outstanding ones. These group of star level 9 stage slaves were all taught some basic training techniques by Luo Feng. Since they were slaves, they naturally weren't afraid of betrayal, so Babata didn't stop them. Find a star level 8 or 9 stage to form a team? Laughed Thunder God. Luckily, we have 2 powerful helpers. Yeah, we don't need to find a team anymore, laughed Hong. Team up. There's no law to protect them, so they naturally can't trust each other 100%. Preventing someone from stabbing you in the back is very tiring. Luo Feng and the other 2 were lucky to have 2 star level 9 stage slaves. This way, they can form a team of 5, and the team is incomparably united. In the vast universe, normally, people of the same race or from the same hometown would have deep feelings for each other. After all, there were too many human races in the universe, and the number of planets was uncountable. Daddy, what are you looking at? Luo Hai, a boy in a battle suit, skipped over. I'm busy, come, give Daddy a kiss. Luo Feng laughed as he ran over and hugged his son. That night, Luo Feng and the others sat in Universe Ship and left by Lonstar. The first adventurer's identity had to be done in the Universe Mercenary Alliance in the real world. Only with an adventurer's identity could one take the trainee mercenary exam. Luo Feng's destination was Dragonstar. 10 days later, on Dragonstar, the Universe Mercenary Alliance's encampment was like a city. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, and 2-star level 9 stage bodyguards entered. "There's sure a lot of people," Luo Feng praised. "It's a sea of people." Thunder God was also dazzled. Large amounts of people entered the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Over 80% of them were here to register as adventurers. Luo Feng and the other 4 were also in the crowd, lining up with the other human races to register as adventurers. After around an hour, it was finally done. "Adventure card. This is an adventure card?" Thunder God looked at the card in his hand. "Don't lose it. It's very troublesome to make a new one," laughed Luo Feng. "Let's go. We'll go apply for the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam." The number of people registering for the adventure exam was the highest, and the number of people registering for the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam was much lower, so Luo Feng and the others didn't need to line up at all. Star Level 2 Stage Spirit Reader, Star Level 2 Stage Fighter, Star Level 1 Stage Fighter, Star Level 9 Stage Fighter, Star Level 9 Stage Spirit Reader. You all meet the requirements for the Mercenary Trainee exam. Please pay 10,000 Black Dragon dollars each. Very good. These are the details of your exam. Take a look yourselves. After swiping Luo Feng and the others' adventure cards, their numbers have already entered the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam system. They can go and take the exam. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, and the others found a bar beside them and entered. After randomly ordering some drinks, they immediately started to carefully read the exam mission. Entered Song Lan Star's Sector Lord's World. Obtained 3 wind cornerstones and a horned iron rhino horn. After that, hand them over to the Universe Mercenary Alliance workers guarding the exit of the Sector Lord's World. This means that you've passed the Mercenary Trainee exam. From now on, you're a qualified Universe Mercenary Trainee. The exam mission has the purpose of testing. Unlike normal adventures, this mission is to eliminate a large group of people. "It definitely won't be easy," muttered Thunder God, and then laughed. "Wind cornerstone, horned iron rhino horn? When people spend money to buy it, they can just say that they got it themselves, right?" "Look here," Luo Feng flipped to the 6th page of the exam explanation. "The wind cornerstone is a type of stone that only exists in the Sector Lord's world. It contains the attributes of that world. And the ferocious beast, the horned iron rhino, which is raised in the Sector Lord's world, has a mark left on its horn by the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Every time the mission is completed, the exam item will be taken back. Even if someone brings it out, the Universe Mercenary Alliance is extremely strict. Once they find out that someone cheats, they'll immediately cancel their chance to take the exam forever. And the person who sells it, they'll directly kill them." Luo Feng, Hong Chong, and the 2 bodyguards were discussing the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam mission. 5 gentlemen, 5 sirs, an incomparably skinny man with big ears approached with a face full of smiles. 5 sirs are preparing to take the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam, right? HM. Luo Feng and the others looked over. The Black Dragon Mountain Starfield's trainee exams are all conducted in the Sector Lord's world on Songlan Star. I have a detailed map of that world, as well as the experiences of many seniors who completed the trainee exam, said the man in a low voice. With this, your chances of success will at least double. Detailed map? Experiences? Luo Feng looked at the skinny man. "How much?" asked Thunder God. "Not much. 100 Black Dragon dollars per copy," said the skinny man. "Not much. Just 50 Black Dragon dollars per copy," said Thunder God directly. "Deal." The skinny man was straightforward. On Dragonstar, Luo Feng and the others bought 2 sets of trainee exam books from 2 different places. After carefully comparing them, the maps were exactly the same, and the experiences were all over the place. However, as they read and read, Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God were shocked. This Sector Lord's world will change after a while. On Dragonstar, Luo Feng bought 2 level 2 battle uniforms and 2 level 2 genetic energy weapons, spirit weapons, for his 2 bodyguards. Maybe a high-quality level 2 spirit weapon would cost a few billion Black Dragon dollars. But he himself only uses a low-quality level 3 spirit weapon. Naturally, the weapons these 2 bodyguards use can only be considered a medium-quality level 2 spirit weapon. Level 2 spirit weapons are enough for a star level. After that, Luo Feng and the other 4 sat in a universe ship and left Dragon Star, heading towards the even more famous Songlan Star. Songlan Star, one of the top 100 most important planets in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's territory. The owner of this planet is a sector lord. Of course, this planet's leader doesn't live on Songlan Star right now. Aogu, Tainanhe. From now on, you two are the 2 most important members of our team. If we come across people trying to kill us, the 3 of us will have to rely on you. In the control room of the spaceship, the 5 of them were all there. Luo Feng was smiling as he looked at the 2 bodyguards in front of him. These were the 2 slaves he brought with him this time. Their appearances were close to that of an Earthling. Aogu was a star level 9 stage spirit reader. He was extremely skinny, his cheeks were fleshy, and his dark red hair was messy. His strength was the number 1 spirit reader out of all the star level 9 stage slaves Luo Feng bought. Tainanhe was a tall and sturdy man with sunken eyes. The only difference between him and an Earthling was that he had 3 scales on his forehead. He was the number 1 fighter out of all the star level 9 stage slaves Luo Feng bought. Protecting the master is our mission, said the old man Aogu. Master, don't say that, said Tainanhe. Don't be humble. In the future, our team will last for a very long time. If our team disbands in the future, after going through so many life and death situations, if you and I are still alive, I will choose to remove the control of your biochip and let you regain your freedom, said Luo Feng. Aogu and Tainanhe's eyes flashed. Freedom. This is what every slave desires. However, under the control of the biochip, they have no way of disobeying their master's orders. Luo Feng nodded to himself. Slaves don't dare to resist, but by giving them a big picture, these 2 bodyguards will work even harder. And Luo Feng also decided that when these 2's strength becomes insufficient and the team disbands, it would be normal for them to be able to go through so many life and death situations with him. We're almost at Songlan Star. The spaceship is about to travel through the universe. Songlan Star, Aogu, and Tainanhe, these 2 bodyguards had a bit of desire in their eyes. They will work hard and protect Luo Feng with their lives. Because once their master dies, they're done for, and they'll lose all hope of freedom. Not every master will give their slave a chance at freedom. After traveling through the universe, the spaceship headed towards an incomparably beautiful water blue planet. What a beautiful planet! It's almost as beautiful as our home. Luo Feng stood in the control room and complimented as he looked at the planet in the distant space. It's very beautiful, Thunder God also complimented, but it's really strange. This Songlan star has a diameter of around 32,000 kilometers, and the Sector Lord's world hidden within Songlan star, in terms of area, is over 100 times the size of Songlan star. In such a huge world, it's said that some peak stage world overlords are able to hide within a grain of sand. 1 grain of sand, 1 world. This is the power of a Sector Lord, complimented Hong. A Sector Lord's world is extremely mysterious. The Universe Mercenary Trainee exam this time will be held in a Sector Lord's world. The dark blue spaceship quickly flew towards Songlan Star. Chapter 330. Songlan Star, Luo Feng's universe ship, just arrived and was guided to the planet's docking port by the signal. We can only rely on flying now. It'll be quick. With our speed, we'll arrive in a few minutes. Luo Feng smiled as he and the other 4 headed toward a bustling metropolis in the distance, Thunder City. Thunder City wasn't originally called this, but later on, a world created by a Sector Lord was discovered by people in Thunder City. And this Sector Lord's world, famous for its thunder, was called the World of Thunder. Thus, This city was also called Thunder City by people from other planets. We've arrived at Thunder City. Luo Feng's group of 5 landed. They could see floating cars everywhere in the city, and some were even flying. The Universe Mercenary Alliance base is around 30 kilometers from here. Thunder God lowered his head and looked at the map that appeared on the mini quantum computer. After that, he pointed towards the approximate northeast direction of the planet's magnetic field. After that, Luo Feng's group of 5 swiftly headed towards the Universe Mercenary Alliance base. The Sector Lord's world was in the base. The Universe Mercenary Alliance base was only built after the Sector Lord's world was discovered. Luo Feng's group of 5 entered the Universe Mercenary Alliance base. You guys head this way. The villa in front that's heavily surrounded is the World of Thunder. A staff member of the base pointed towards the distance. A staff member of the station pointed at a lonely villa in the distance that was surrounded by a large number of guards in an extremely spacious area. World of Thunder. Villa? The group of people all looked towards that villa. The staff member opened his mouth and laughed. Back then, the Sector Lord who created the World of Thunder probably lived in seclusion in Thunder City and bought a villa to create the World of Thunder. From the outside, who would be able to tell that there's a world much larger than the entire Sanglan star inside this villa? However, countless years have passed, and the surrounding villas have long turned into ruins. Oh. Luo Feng nodded, and then smiled as he thanked. Thanks. Let's go. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, and the others directly headed towards the villa in the distance. The surroundings of the villa were heavily guarded. Suddenly, the guards actually swiftly opened a path. A man with a 1-star mercenary badge on his chest walked out and looked towards the sky. The surrounding guards are all extremely respectful. Looks like this Universe Mercenary is one of the leaders here. What's wrong? Luo Feng was a bit surprised. Look, there's a universe ship coming over. Thunder God pointed at the sky. The 5 of them and the surrounding people who had come to the Universe Mercenary Alliance base all looked up. A universe ship from afar. In a flash, it stopped in the air above the base, floating motionlessly. Hua! The hatch opened. Following them were young men and women who looked like they came from many different races. There were more than 20 of them. Lord Jaya, that Universe Mercenary, stepped forward. Among the 20 or so young men and women that flew down, there was an incomparably handsome man wearing a purple battle suit. On his chest, there was a 2-star mercenary badge. I'm just sending some of my subordinates here to take the mercenary trainee exam. There's no need for you, the leader, to personally welcome them. Lord Gaia saved my life back then. Now that you're here, how can I not come out? The Universe Mercenary laughed, after which he looked at the surrounding group of young men and women. These are the Black Cloud Guild's new batch of rookies. They all look pretty good. Haha, there are a few good seedlings among this batch of rookies. The purple-robed man smiled and nodded, after which the purple-robed man's gaze swept across the group of youths, shouting, "The Universe Mercenary Trainee Exam. I won't say any more about the dangers. I just hope that the next time we meet at the Black Cloud Guild, I'll be able to see you all again. Hurry and enter the Sector Lord's world." "Yes, Chief Instructor," the group of youths respectfully replied, after which they naturally split into 4 small groups. Each group had star level 2 and 3 stages, as well as star level 8 and 9 stages. The 4 groups swiftly entered the villa one after another. The villa wasn't that big, but when the 20 or so people entered, it was like entering a bottomless pit. The purple-robed man stood there, like a normal person seeing a poisonous snake. He naturally felt his heart palpitate. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, and the other 2 stood far away, not daring to approach. Black Cloud Guild? They're talking about the Black Cloud Guild. What's the Black Cloud Guild? Discussions carried from the surrounding crowd. What's the Black Cloud Guild? Luo Feng looked towards Hong and Thunder God. No idea. Master, we don't know either. Ao Gu and Tai Nan he both shook their heads. Suddenly, the discussions beside them attracted Luo Feng and the others' attention. This Black Cloud Guild is one of the 4 big organizations of our Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Our Black Dragon Mountain Empire controls the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field. Its territory is vast, spanning over 8,000 galaxies. The strongest in the empire are, of course, the 2 sacred lands, followed by the 4 big organizations and the 16 great families. We're the 2 sacred lands. You don't even know this? The 2 sacred lands are Black Dragon Mountain and Ice Sea God Country. It's said that the 2 sacred lands were created by Undying. They have many sector lords under them. The 16 great families, each family has at least one sector lord. Sector lord, that's a power that can destroy the heavens and earth, creating a world. Of course, any one of the 2 sacred lands can easily destroy the 16 great families. If the Black Dragon Mountain, Ice Sea God Country, and the 16 great families are part of the government, then the 4 big organizations are part of the civil society. With tens of millions of years of history, some of the elders of the 4 big organizations from the ancient times even entered the Ganwu universe country. The discussions beside made Luo Feng and the other 4 pay close attention. So the power distribution of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire was like this: 2 sacred lands for big organizations and 16 great families. Luo Feng, this is the information regarding the power distribution of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Immediately on the screen on Luo Feng's arm, large amounts of words and information appeared. Luo Feng lowered his head to read, simultaneously sending the information to Hong, Thunder God, Ao, Gu, and Tainan He. Looking carefully, Luo Feng was shocked. The foundation of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire was the Black Dragon Mountain and the Ice Sea God Country, the 2 sacred lands. The government's strongest power, and among the civil society were the 4 big organizations. The power spread across thousands of galaxies. Every organization had a group of sector lords. In terms of power, they definitely couldn't be underestimated, and the background of the 4 big organizations all involved the powerful warriors of the Ganwu universe country. Hence, the 4 big organizations might not be as strict as the 2 sacred lands. However, the pinnacle of power was almost the same. What? Newell and Shan is from one of the 4 big organizations, the Hunter Tiger Building? Luo Feng was shocked within. Within the information Babata had given him, there was a rough introduction of Newell and Shan in the Hunter Tiger Building. After reading it, Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. It's still all right. He's only a basic member of the Hunter Tiger Building. He doesn't have much power. The 4 big organizations within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire could definitely cause a bloodbath. If the Newell and Shan family was a drop of water, then any one of the 4 big organizations would be an endless, raging ocean. As the pinnacle of power was strong, their backgrounds deep, hence the Black Dragon Mountain Empire could only silently acknowledge the existence of the 4 big organizations. Newell and Shan's background is that big? Thunder God was shocked, simultaneously using his genetic energy to form a soundproof barrier around him. He's only a basic member of the Hunter Tiger Building, not a higher-up. Hong said, Hunter Tiger Building, one of the 4 big organizations, a Universe Level 9 fighter, was indeed considered a basic member. 3 Axe Mountain, Hunter Tiger Building, Black Cloud Guild, North Dragon City. In the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, they can cover the sky with one hand. Luo Feng, too, felt a sense of longing. If one day he could hold a high position in this organization, with one command, he would be able to turn the Newell and Shan family into ruins, thousands of life planets to surrender. Long in my ass. Power is the most important. When you have master's power, one word and you'll be able to make the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire tremble in fear. Babata shouted, What bullshit sacred land? Master already has 9 undying slaves under him. Luo Feng laughed. In front of the Yin Mo Planet Master, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had to lower its head. However, to Luo Feng, this Black Dragon Mountain Empire was still a huge monster. We're here to participate in the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. Luo Feng's group of 5 stood in front of the villa. The signal scanned Luo Feng's group of 5. The group of guards heard the signal and nodded. Go in. Obviously, Luo Feng's group of 5's identity signal had been approved. A spacious garden. In the garden was a 3-story normal villa. At the entrance of the villa stood two cold-looking black-clothed women. One of the black-clothed women looked at Luo Feng's group of 5, emphasizing, 5 adventurers, I believe you understand the dangers of entering the Sector Lord's world. If you regret it now, you can still back out. No need. Open the door, said Luo Feng. Creak. One of the women in black pushed open the door of the villa. The Realm Lord's world is on the 2nd floor of the villa. Luo Feng's group of 5 entered in a single file, entered the main hall, and followed the stairs to the 2nd floor. The other rooms on the 2nd floor were very normal. Only one room had a lady with a purple tattoo on her face. She looked at Luo Feng and his team and immediately opened the door. Immediately a light flowed out from within. This is... Luo Feng and the others watched with bated breath. The light was like a bubble, causing Luo Feng and the others to be unable to see through the room. Once you enter, you'll be in the world of thunder. The woman replied coldly. Yes. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, Ao, Gu, Tai Nanhe and the other 2 looked at each other, after which they all extended their hands, one holding the other. Because if they didn't hold hands, the 5 of them would be sent to different places once they entered the world of thunder. World of Thunder. Let's go in. Tai Nanhe was the first to step into the light, followed by Thunder God, Luo Feng, Hong, and finally Ao, Gu. It was completely silent. The 5 of them completely disappeared into the light. Pa! The woman at the door closed the door again. Chapter 331. Big Dipper. Before it was still sunshine, villas, the bustling Universe Mercenary Alliance base. In the blink of an eye, it became night. Rumble, 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 rumble. Tai Nanhe, Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God and Ao Gu had just arrived in the world of thunder. They immediately fell with shocking speed. The 5 immediately controlled the miniature planets within their bodies to change the gravity around them. However, it was still too late. With 5 low thuds, Luo Feng and the others all smashed into the ground below. That hurts. Luo Feng stood up. Is the ground filled with nails? Thunder God stood up too. The 5 stood up and surveyed their surroundings. The pitch-black world, only the distant skies had threads of light, causing the entire world to not be completely dark. And below their feet was an endless black desert. Desert. Hong was shocked as he squatted down. This is the death desert mentioned in the books we bought. Thunder God was extremely shocked too. We fell at such a high speed and only made such a small hole. This is still a desert. It's a desert. Luo Feng grabbed a handful of sand from the ground. The sand was dark blue, looking almost black. Every grain of sand was very heavy. The density was definitely 100 times higher than Earth's iron, and the sand had a magnetic force, causing all the sand to stick together. His butt landing earlier only made a small hole. The world of thunder, the gravity is about 3,900 times that of Earth. Hong said solemnly, because the entire world was created by the Sector Lord experts using the universe origin energy. The foundation of the Sector Lord's world is the universe crystal. The soil, sand, rocks, etc. are all affected by the universe origin energy and are much more special than the outside world. It's special. Every grain of sand is very heavy. Luo Feng nodded. That's extravagant to create such a huge world. How much universe energy was used? Thunder God couldn't help but say, universe energy. Only those who reached the Sector Lord level could unleash an unbelievable amount of energy. The moment this energy was condensed, it would become the universe crystal. Universe crystals were considered the hard currency of the universe. This wasn't like the silver blue dollars, black dragon dollars, Ganwu dollars, etc. It was formed from the universe energy. Hence, it could be used in any universe country, any race. The gravity is too strong. Even my spirit energy is affected. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. What's the range? Thunder God asked. Not even 1,000th of Earth. Luo Feng said. Star Traveler Level 1 Spirit Readers. On Earth, their spirit force could reach a range of 1 kilometer. And the Star Level 1 had a 100 kilometers range. However, Luo Feng was a Star Level 2 Spirit Reader. In this Sector Lord's world where the gravity was 3,900 times that of Earth, his range wasn't even 100 m. My telekinesis range is less than 1,000 meters, Aogu said. The Desert of Death is one of the most dangerous regions in the world of thunder. Hong continued. Moreover, it is currently late at night, and we are unable to ascertain the exact direction. However, the longer they stayed in the Death Desert, the more dangerous it would be. We have to leave immediately. Pick a random direction and move forward as fast as we can. The Desert of Death was one of the forbidden areas of the world of thunder. Even ferocious beasts did not dare to live here. Right, let's hurry up and go, Thunder God said. Let's go in this direction, forward. Luo Feng pointed in a random direction. Instantly, Luo Feng and the other four flew into the air. Even though the gravity here was strong, it wasn't to the point where star levels couldn't fly. Of course, due to the astonishing gravitational pull, their flying speed was much slower than before. After flying for about 5 minutes, Luo Feng and the other four were still flying swiftly above the Desert of Death. Suddenly, the team's strongest spirit reader, Ao Gu, creased his eyebrows. Master, something's wrong. Something's wrong? Luo Feng looked at Ao Gu. Look behind. Thunder God shouted. Behind? Luo Feng, Hong, Tainan He, and Ao Gu all turned to look. Behind them was an earth-shattering black sandstorm, madly heading towards Luo Feng's direction with shocking speed. At the same time, under that earth-shattering sandstorm, there was a group of young men and women desperately fleeing for their lives. Death Dust Storm. Ao Gu's face was pale. It's the Death Dust Storm. Quickly flee. Thunder God shouted. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Hong was panicking too. Rumble, 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 rumble. The five immediately flew at their fastest speed. Ao Gu, in his panic, grabbed onto the slowest flying Hong and Thunder God. Luo Feng relied on the soaring shuttle beneath his feet, flying at a speed similar to Ao Gu's. The Death Dust Storm, one of the many dangers recorded in the books Luo Feng and the others bought. The Death Dust Storm was one of the 3 great dangers in the Desert of Death. There was no pattern to its appearance. It appeared suddenly, covering the sky and covering the land, making it impossible for people to hide. The experiences of generations of seniors told their juniors against the Death Dust Storm. Drilling into the desert was courting death. Flying into the sky was also courting death. The only way was to compete with the Death Dust Storm in terms of speed. If the Death Dust Storm hasn't caught up to you before it dissipates, that means you've survived. We've just entered the world of thunder, and we've already met the Death Dust Storm. What the hell is this? Thunder God cursed. Look, behind us seems to be one of the 4 Black Cloud Guild teams that entered the world of thunder before us. Luo Feng used his spirit energy to control the soaring shuttle, maintaining its maximum speed. Luo Feng turned to look behind him. There was indeed a small team, young men and women, madly being chased by the earth-shattering sandstorm. Looking at their attire, they were indeed one of the 4 Black Cloud Guild teams that entered the world of thunder before Luo Feng. The madly fleeing team had a total of 6 people, 4 men and 2 women. Flee, madly fleeing for their lives. The Death Dust Storm constantly neared this Black Cloud Guild team. At the back of the team, a sturdy man with a single horn on his head roared angrily and unwillingly. Chi-Chi, the Death Dust Storm finally touched this man, immediately engulfing him. The dust storm infused with the universe energies engulfed him. This man seemed to have been ground by a meat grinder. The armor on his body immediately ripped apart. Large amounts of blood, flesh, and bones flew everywhere. Quickly flee. Quickly. The other 5 members of this Black Cloud Guild team all had ferocious expressions. In the face of death, they all exploded with their fastest speeds. And a few kilometers ahead of this team, Luo Feng's team was completely frightened and ran even faster. Quickly, 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 quickly flee. Don't let the Death Dust Storm catch up. Damn, this Death Dust Storm is too terrifying. To actually produce such a strong dust storm, I'm sure Even underground in the desert would be affected by that terrifying stirring energy. No wonder the books said that drilling underground would definitely result in death. Even though Thunder God was nervous, he didn't have anything else to do, because he and Hong were relying on the spirit reader Ao-gu to carry them. Ao-gu alone carried two others, Luo Feng on the soaring shuttle, and Tainan he flying alone. Their speed was indeed very fast. After the Black Cloud Guild team behind lost another two slow runners, the Death Dust Storm speed began to decrease. The energy that filled the sky also began to decrease. Obviously, this Death Dust Storm was reaching its end. Phew, we finally escaped. Only then did Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. Look, the Black Cloud Guild team only has 3 people left. 1-star level 9 Spirit Reader, and 2-star level 2 and 3 youths. Thunder God looked at the 3, swiftly chasing behind him. Amongst the 3, a star level 9 man stood on a round disc, bringing a young couple. Very normal. Luo Feng too gazed at the 3 in the distance. The little teams arranged by the Black Cloud Guild. Every team will have a star level 9. The star level 9 members are the babysitters. The ones who are actually here to train and test are the star level 2 and 3 youths. These are the important younger generation elites of the Black Cloud Guild. Those 3 intentionally distanced themselves from Luo Feng's team, flying in another direction. This sudden death dust storm caused the Black Cloud Guild team to suffer heavy losses. Even though Luo Feng's team didn't suffer any losses, they still didn't dare relax. After flying for another half an hour or so, Master, there's a continuous mountain range ahead. Tainan He's sunken eyes. However, he saw an unremarkable mountain range in the distance. We've discovered the mountain range. Luo Feng and his team sped up. Indeed, an endless mountain range appeared before them. This mountain range even had large amounts of trees and plants. Compared to the Desert of Death, this mountain range was obviously filled with life. It really is a mountain range. Hong Lian lowered his head to look at the AI screen, saying, "Second brother, third brother, according to the map, I think we should have reached the Long Suo mountain range." Long Suo mountain range. Thunder God rushed into the sky, flying high up, carefully observing the mountain range's silhouette, looking at a few special places, after which he lowered his head to look at the AI screen. This should be the middle area between the Long Suo mountain range and the Desert of Death, the distance to our destination. Demon Moon Lake is 16,000 kilometers. Demon Moon Lake was located within the Long Suo mountain range. It was a lake that was over 100 km wide, as there was a large amount of water here. Hence, there were many ferocious beast hordes gathered around the lake. Amongst them was the horned Iron Rhino horde. The horn of the horned Iron Rhino was one of the items needed to pass this test. Big brother, second brother, we have to be more careful in this Long Suo mountain range than in the Desert of Death. The Desert of Death is normally a natural threat, and in this Long Suo mountain range, there are many trees and forests, ferocious beasts. Many of the humans participating in the test will be there. Fighting with the ferocious beasts, killing each other is common. Luo Feng reminded. Understood. Hong and Thunder God nodded. In terms of danger, this Long Suo mountain range was the true danger. Of course, in the world of Thunder, the horned Iron Rhino horde wasn't just around Demon Moon Lake. There were other places too. However, Demon Moon Lake was currently the closest to Luo Feng and his team. Be careful of the humans. Be careful of the natural threats of this Sector Lord world, especially the thunder. If there are any signs of thunder, immediately leave the place where you might be struck. Luo Feng still remembered the introduction from the books he bought. The most terrifying natural threat in the entire world of thunder was thunder. This world was named the World of Thunder. It was because the thunder in this world was too terrifying, far surpassing the other natural threats. The moment one was struck, even a weaker domain lord would instantly turn to dust. Star level? There was definitely no chance of survival. P.S. Chapter 2 has ended. Tomato continues writing Chapter 3. Calling for monthly votes. Chapter 332. Danger lurked in the Long Suo Mountains. There are berserk beasts 18 kilometers to the right. There are berserk beasts 19 kilometers ahead at 3 o'clock. Luo Feng calmly reported the numbers one by one. The entire team was advancing at a shocking speed. This speed was something that most of the teams in the Long Suan mountain range couldn't even imagine, because in this Realm Lord's world, the range of telekinesis was very small, and the exploration of telekinesis would easily attract the attention of ferocious beasts. Therefore, their speed of advancement was usually very slow. One universe mercenary trainee exam could take up to 1 or 2 years. However, Luo Feng and the others were advancing extremely quickly. Babata, with you on guard, exploring is indeed much more convenient. Luo Feng praised within. This was dismantled from the Yun Mo planet ship. Everything within a diameter of 20,000 meters is intact. Even a sector lord wouldn't be able to escape detection, let alone these stupid beasts. Babata was extremely pleased with himself. The mountain forest was particularly difficult to traverse. Luo Feng and his team didn't dare to fly, because flying the Long Suo mountain range was equivalent to becoming a target for all the ferocious beasts. The dire beasts could be easily seen when they looked up. One must know that. Dire beasts could also fly. At that time, a large group of ferocious beasts would besiege them, and they would have nowhere to run even if they wanted to. After spending close to 2 days, Luo Feng's group finally arrived at Demon Moon Lake. Demon Moon Lake. The lake stretched as far as the eye could see, and there was a large open space around the lake. Some of the trees had long been trampled and broken. It was obvious that a large number of ferocious beasts often passed by the lake. There are no ferocious beasts around. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. There's nothing we can do. We can only wait. Thunder God smiled. Waiting here is better than rushing to the next place where a horned iron rhino herd might appear. Our luck isn't bad. Coming to this Sector Lord's world of thunder, we haven't even had a real bloody battle. Hong was very relaxed. Of course, the main reason they didn't have a battle was because Luo Feng had that warning device. He waited patiently. In a world of thunder, during the day, there would be 9 balls of light that were similar to the sun. At night, it would be pitch black, with only very inconspicuous rays of light spilling down. In the forest beside Demon Moon Lake, on the first night of waiting, Luo Feng and the others discovered 3 ferocious beasts that looked like giant lizards. On the second day, they found 3 more groups of beasts. They even saw the terrifying scene of beasts killing each other. On the 6th day, 9 light orbs hovered high in the sky of the world of thunder. Luo Feng and the other 4 waited silently. What we're doing is called waiting for the hare, right? I didn't expect that I would do something like waiting for rabbits to come to me. Thunder God sat on a tree branch, occasionally looking into the distance. Just come down. If that single-horned iron rhino comes, I'll be the first to notice it. Luo Feng raised his head and smiled. On the ground were some braised meat and other food. These were all well preserved. Everyone. Luo Feng's expression became serious. Hong, who was sleeping beside him, Ao Gu, who was sitting cross-legged, and Tai Nanhe, who was standing guard, swiftly looked over. What's the matter, Luo Feng? A few people looked towards Luo Feng. The horned iron rhino is here. Luo Feng's eyes flashed. They're finally here. The crowd stood up. Follow me. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and led the way through the forest. Even though there were many trees and plants in the forest, Luo Feng's nimble movements didn't touch any plants. Behind them, Hong, Thunder God, Tai Nanhe, and Ao Gu also quickly followed. Soon, the 5 of them arrived at the edge of Demon Moon Lake. The single-horned iron rhinos are coming from that direction. Their speed isn't very fast. I estimate they'll arrive in about 5 minutes. Luo Feng pointed ahead. There's a total of 21 single-horned iron rhinos. After a while, creatures that looked like trucks appeared in their field of vision. Their rock-like skin made it impossible to doubt its toughness. That horn that was as sharp as a scimitar. Under the illumination of the 9 balls of light in the sky, it reflected a cold light. However, its eyes were gentle. The single-horned iron rhino was a very simple, ferocious beast. Ferocious beasts. The reason why they were called ferocious beasts was because of their low intelligence. In the universe, monsters were mainly divided into demon and ferocious beasts. The demon race referred to those that had higher intelligence at the student level of humans. Just like the monsters on Earth, they belonged to the demon race. A slightly more mature demon race had intelligence comparable to humans. Because of their intelligence in a vast universe, the demon race was one of the most powerful races. Ferocious beasts had strength but low intelligence. They didn't know how to learn. Some were cruel, some were gentle. The only thing they had in common was their low intelligence. Of course, monsters, other than the demon and ferocious beasts, there were also god beasts. Just like the space beasts, they were known as the space god beasts. Damn, this group of single-horned iron rhinos are very strong. Thunder God lowered his head to look at the screen on his arm, communicating through genetic energy. They're very strong. The 5 of us are hard to deal with. We can only think of a way to separate them. Anyway, we only need 5 horns. Luo Feng communicated through spiritual energy to the others. Separate? These ferocious beasts have low intelligence. They should be easy to trick. What way? As Luo Feng and the others were discussing softly, Luo Feng's expression changed. He said softly, "A small human team is swiftly approaching. They should have discovered the single-horned iron rhinos that went to drink." As Demon Moon Lake was a lake, there were no obstructions. Even from far away, they could still see the monsters in the distance. A small human team appeared in their field of vision. Everyone in the team was wearing the same black battle uniform. Kill! Black silhouettes fiercely burst forth with their fastest speed, creating sonic booms as they charged straight towards the group of single-horned iron rhinos that were drinking. 21 single-horned iron rhinos fiercely raised their heads and looked over. The leader of the single-horned iron rhinos immediately raised his head and let out a majestic and angry roar. Roar! Every single human soldier was incomparably calm. Working together in pairs, they surrounded one single-horned iron rhino and swiftly killed it. A total of 10 members of the team, instantly killing 4 single-horned iron rhinos. 9-star level 9 stages, 1-star level 2 stage. Luo Feng looked at the screen, saying softly, "This little team, isn't there a little too many star level 9s? That weak one probably has some status, hence he brought so many underlings." Participating in the Universe Adventure Alliance had already become a tradition. One had to know that over 99% of strong had to go through this test. Many of the disciples of the big families had to go through the mercenary trainee exam. For safety, bringing a group of star level 9 underlings was very normal. Even though the family's rules were to train the disciples, as time went on, many of the rules would eventually deviate from what the family wanted. 9-star level 9s, they could indeed deal with 21 single-horned iron rhinos. Hong said softly, "Damn, after waiting for so long, it's been snatched away by some rich kid." Thunder God cursed softly. He was annoyed. However, the opponent had 9-star level 9s. Their equipment seemed to be good too. Their coordination was excellent. What could his own team do? They could only watch dumbfoundedly. Luo Feng's eyes lit up. Something good is coming. Something good? Thunder God looked suspiciously at Luo Feng. This is something good? Who knows? We might even be able to get our horns. Luo Feng looked expectantly into the distance. Kill. Kill them all. Collect the horns of the single-horned iron rhino. We'll immediately leave. A fair-skinned youth wielded a long and narrow battle blade as he battled with the smallest horned iron rhinoceros. This small-horned iron rhinoceros only had the strength of a star level 1, and he could indeed trample it as he pleased. Yes, the group of star level 9s replied in unison. Fresh blood flew. Roars of rage and disbelief resounded continuously. One by one, the single-horned iron rhinos fell. This group of single-horned iron rhinos was only a star level 9. The rest were even weaker. Against these 9-star level 9s, they were completely at a disadvantage. More and more of them died. Rumble, the earth trembled. A roar resounded from the forest beside. The earth began to tremble. The remaining 5 single-horned iron rhinos immediately roared excitedly. At this time, not too far away from the forest appeared the silhouettes of the huge, single-horned iron rhinos. Not good, quickly leave. One of the 9 black-clothed underlings immediately shouted, Your Majesty, over 50 single-horned iron rhinos are rushing over. The few at the front are extremely powerful. Quickly leave. Quickly protect the 9th prince. Quickly. Immediately, one of the black-clothed underlings grabbed the 9th prince, stepping on a streamlined flying spirit weapon that looked like a huge sword, swiftly escaping. The other 8 underlings swiftly took a look at the horns and madly followed behind to escape. Large amounts of huge, single-horned iron rhinos rushed out. Every single one of them seemed to have red eyes, completely enraged. Over 50 single-horned iron rhinos, and these were all the adult males of the single-horned iron rhinos, all of them madly trampled on the forest ground, madly chasing after the group of black-clothed men. Luo Feng's group of 5 watched as the majestic single-horned iron rhinos madly chased after the elite team, leaving behind only the corpses of the single-horned iron rhinos. Quick! Luo Feng led the way and rushed out. Ha, we got them so easily. Which empire is that 9th prince from? A low-level universe empire, or the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? I think he's just a low-level empire that rules over 1 or 2 galaxies. Thunder God muttered. The group of people swiftly rushed towards the single-horned iron rhino's corpse. Even though the group of black-clothed men cut off 10 horns, 6 of the corpses still had horns on them. Pucci! The soaring shuttle became a golden swordfish, directly cutting off the horn on the forehead of one of the single-horned iron rhinos. Hong, Thunder God, Tai Nanhe, and Aogu also swiftly went to cut off the horn. In the group of single-horned iron rhinos chasing after the black-clothed men, one of the single-horned iron rhinos turned its head and stared over, letting out an angry roar. Immediately, over 20 single-horned iron rhinos immediately turned their heads and madly rushed over. They hated humans who dared to kill the corpses of their own kind. Quickly, Luo Feng urged. Luo Feng, 12 kilometers away, there's a small team of humans that originally occupied Demon Moon Lake. Right now, they're rushing over with astonishing speed, probably to kill you. Babata's reminder rang in Luo Feng's mind. Chapter 333. The Horn of the Single-Horned Iron Rhino. Luo Feng swiftly kept it into a space ring, using his spirit energy to shout. Hurry and leave. There's a small team behind. What? Hong and Thunder God were shocked. Without hesitation, the 5 immediately rushed into the forest beside, leaving behind the huge corpses of the horned iron rhinos. 12 kilometers to a star-level warrior. If it was in the outside world, they would be able to pass through in a second. Even in this Sector Lord's world, the speed would slow down, but it wouldn't take long. Within the forest, Luo Feng, who was standing on the soaring shuttle, flipped his hands. A shield and an alloy blade appeared in his hands. He even put on a normal alloy armor. Alloy armor, blade, etc., they weren't expensive, as they didn't have any amplification effects. However, the materials used were extremely sturdy, reaching the D grade. D grade alloy. If it was a universe ship, it would definitely be shockingly expensive. However, blades, alloy armor, shields, etc. were extremely cheap. Chi-Chi, a blood-red helmet swiftly extended from Luo Feng's head. This was an extension of the cloud contact vine. Wielding a hexagonal shield, an alloy blade, the reflecting cold metal armor wrapped around Luo Feng's body, looking like a leather jacket. His entire body was as fast as lightning, swiftly escaping, thinking anxiously, Babata, how strong is that team? 7-star level 9 stages, 1-star level 2 stage, 1-star level 3 stage. Babata said. Bastard. Luo Feng cursed within. The opponent's speed is very fast. The distance is shrinking, too. 8 kilometers. 6 kilometers. Babata continuously informed Luo Feng. There are 7-star level 9 stages behind us. Luo Feng used his spirit energy to communicate to Hong, Thunder God, Ao Gu, and Tai Nanhe. We're in big trouble. Hong and the others all felt the pressure. At this time, The chasing team was constantly shrinking the distance between them and Luo Feng's team. The distance had already shrunk to less than 1 kilometer. His face was like a knife. The skin on his face was crystal clear, almost like jade. One could even see the blood vessels under his skin. His eyes squinted and his smile seemed harmless. At this moment, he was dressed in a leather like Origin power armor and had a huge battle blade on his back that was almost as tall as him. He was currently being held by his comrade by the hand, relying on his comrade's psychic weapon to quickly chase after him. Humph! He looked down at the AI screen on his arm. 2-star level 9s and 3-star level 1s and 2s. Humph! So weak. 600 meters, 500 meters, 400 meters. He kept calculating the distance. He could already see the team that was rapidly advancing in front of him. Many of the other 8 members were wearing goggles, but the goggles also had the effect of a screen, and from time to time, strings of data would flash past. Surround them. He ordered via Origin power transmission. Yes, 7 of the other 8 members obeyed. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The group swiftly spread out and surrounded Luo Feng's group of 5. Luo Feng and the others stopped and looked at the 9 people surrounding them. This was still within the boundaries of the long Suan mountain range, and there were many towering trees in the surroundings. There were even some claw marks left behind by vicious beasts. Such sturdy trees were rarely seen in the universe. People couldn't help but praise the methods of the Realm Lord. Who's the leader? The youth in the lead of the 9 shouted, his gaze sweeping across Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God. Obviously, the participants of the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam mostly arranged for the stronger ones to protect the important younger members. The weaker ones, on the other hand, gave the orders. It's me. Luo Feng stared at the youth in front of him. Who are you, and what do you want? Haha, your question sure is stupid. Don't you know what we want? The youth sneered, his eyes filled with arrogance, as though he was looking at a beggar. Punk, hand over all 6 horns of the horned iron rhino, and I can spare your lives. If you don't. The youth laughed coldly. Luo Feng looked at the group of people surrounding them. The screen on his arm displayed a large amount of data. Why are you wasting time with them? Just kill them. A young lady dressed in a black battle uniform beside the youth said coldly. The youth raged within. This idiot, can't he see that they have 2-star level 9s? Even though we can win, if we really fight and they fight to the death, even if we can kill them, we'll probably lose some people. If we can get the horn without dying, wouldn't that be better? My partner can't wait any longer. The youth's gaze swept across Luo Feng's group of 5. Better give us an answer. Surrounded in the center, Luo Feng's group of 5, Tainan He and Ao Gu naturally looked towards their master, Luo Feng. Hong and Thunder God also exchanged glances with Luo Feng. Horned iron rhino's horn? Luo Feng flipped his hand and took out a horn, looking at the youth in front of him. Horn, we can give you 1. 6, not 1 less. The youth said coldly. The other 8 stared at Luo Feng's group of 5. Before this, they had seen 21 one-horned iron rhinos drinking water by the lake. 16 of them had died, and 10 of their horns had been taken away by a group of people. So they were very sure that this group of yellow-skinned, black-haired humans in front of them had taken away 6 horns. Black-haired punk, the young lady beside shouted. We are from the 100 Tiger Building. Hurry up and hand over the horns, otherwise of 100 Tiger Building, one of the 4 great universe organizations within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Coming from 100 Tiger Building, it meant that this group of people were definitely well-trained. At least in terms of battle, they were definitely exceptional. Are you handing it over or not? The youth was getting angry. Don't waste your breath with them. The young lady urged. Luo Feng's group of 5 in the center of the encirclement felt a huge pressure. Luo Feng could feel that the other group was obviously losing their patience. Ao Gu. Luo Feng communicated through his spirit reading. Master, the old man Ao Gu replied. The moment we make our move, follow what I told you before we came to the Sector Lord's world. Do you know what to do? Understood. Ao Gu replied. Luo Feng coldly surveyed the 100 Tiger Building team before him. his gaze sweeping past the star level 9 warriors with protective goggles, finally landing on the young man and woman. The horn. I'll give you a most one. If you're still not satisfied, let me remind you, the moment some things happen, it'll be too late for regrets. Trying to scare me? The youth laughed coldly. Humph. The young lady turned and exchanged glances with the youth. The two retreated almost simultaneously. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Other than one star level 9 warrior protecting the two of them, the other 6 exploded simultaneously. And at the moment they exploded, Luo Feng, who was standing beside Ao Gu's eyes went cold. Shua! In mid-air, a blue shard appeared. Ao Gu's spirit reading was like a hand, grabbing onto the shard's body, revealing only the blade's edge. The blade's edge, strangely, had a faint red glow. Yes, this was the hybrid copper essence that had been coated with a layer of alloy, only the sharp edge wasn't covered. This move was Luo Feng's current killing move. To let the strongest spirit reader slave, Ao Gu, use the hybrid copper essence shard. With the hybrid copper essence's sharpness, if Ao Gu were to use it, he would probably be able to injure even a universe level. Xiao! The blue blade flashed in an arc, as fast as lightning towards the incoming star level 9 enemies. Master, be careful, it's a spirit attack. Ao Gu, who had long released his spirit energy, warned. He only used half of his focus to control the hybrid copper essence shard. The rest of his focus was on defense, because Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God Soul defenses couldn't withstand a star level 9 spirit reader soul attack. Chi! 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 Ao Gu blocked the 3's spirit energy attacks. Chi! 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 The blue blade aura easily swept past the star level 9 warriors. Under the extremely fast and sharp blade aura, all the fighters and spirit readers wearing protective goggles, their expressions serious and confident, all had their heads sliced off, their skulls exploding and their brains splattering everywhere before they died. Their eyes behind the goggles were filled with shock and fear. Impossible. The confident young man and lady watching from afar stared wide-eyed. Star level 9 warriors. They couldn't even withstand a single blow. What they didn't know was the opponent's spirit weapon's level of sharpness was terrifying. The UNMO planet ship accelerated. Whatever meteorite or small planet, it directly collided with it, slicing through a small planet. Even against a group of meteorites, its level of sharpness was unimaginable. Even a Sector Lord Warrior, under the UNMO planet ship's acceleration, could be easily sliced apart by its sharp edges. Flee! The youth sent the order to his underling, a star level 9 spirit reader. The underling brought the youth along, while simultaneously bringing the lady. Throw her down, quickly, the youth ordered. Yes. In terms of position, the lady was lower than the youth, and this bodyguard was clear. The moment the opponent's spirit reader's speed increased, even if he brought the two of them, they probably wouldn't be able to escape. Who? The bodyguard immediately brought the youth, stepping on the spirit weapon, swiftly becoming a beam of light and escaping. Wait for me. The young lady's expression was one of defeat. She turned her head and saw the blue light that killed the 6-star level 9 warriors arcing through the air, flying towards her. The lady's expression was malevolent, her eyes filled with venom. Show you. Chi. Her brain exploded. In the blink of an eye, 6-star level 9 warriors, including an elite of the Hunter Tiger building, were all killed. On the other hand, the young man called Cho Yu and his bodyguard had long since escaped without a trace. Stop chasing, Luo Feng said. Yes, master, Ao Gu and Tai Nan has said respectfully. Luo Feng immediately kept the hybrid copper essence shard back into his storage ring. If he wanted to chase after that person, he would have to let Ao Gu chase after him. Also, Ao Gu couldn't bring anyone with him. If he did, Ao Gu probably wouldn't be able to catch up. That way, with only Luo Feng and his team left, it wouldn't be safe in the long Suo mountain range. And Luo Feng couldn't possibly let Ao Gu carry the hybrid copper essence shard far away from him to chase and kill people. Babata, will they be fine escaping? Luo Feng asked within. I'm fine. He doesn't know your identity at all. Even if he did, you don't have a fixed place to stay. Even if you go back, you'll be going back to Earth. What are you afraid of? Babata didn't care at all. A barefooted person isn't afraid of someone with shoes. You're barefooted right now. P.S. Chapter 1. Get more monthly votes. Chapter 334. Sanglan Star, Sector Lord's World. Luo Feng and the other four were swiftly cleaning up the battlefield. Haha. No wonder they're the elites of the 100 Tiger Building's younger generation. This little girl actually uses an AI. I don't need to buy an AI. I'll just use this. Thunder God was very proud. Luo Feng was using an AI life form that surpassed AI. Hong was using an AI quantum computer, and Thunder God was using an auxiliary quantum computer. And the space ring, and the spirit weapon. These 6-star level 9 stages added together. They can't even compare to this little girl's treasures. Tynan he made his move, swiftly sweeping away all the valuable items. Of the 6-star level 9 stages, 3 were spirit readers and 3 were fighters. However, their standard were similar to the Newland Shan guards. Hence, they were the lowest level cannon fodder in the 100 Tiger Building. This time, they were here to protect the 2 elites. Ao Gu, this flying spirit weapon is yours. Tainan He, pick whichever genetic energy weapon you like. This space ring. Luo Feng's gaze swept across Thunder God, Ao Gu, and Tainan He. Thunder God shouted, "Let me take a look at this space ring. The one I use is the smallest." Of the 5 in the team, Luo Feng and Hong already had their own space rings. Thunder God bought his own. It was the smallest one he bought. Haha, it really is bigger than my space ring. Thunder God was extremely happy. Thunder God, Tainan He, and Ao Gu adjusted their equipment, after which they swiftly left the battlefield, arriving at the foot of a mountain 1,000 km away before stopping. Next, we should go find the Wind Cornerstone. Luo Feng looked at the others. The Wind Cornerstone. There's only one place in the Sector Lord's world, the most central area of the world of thunder, the Canyon of Wind and Thunder. Hong looked at the screen on his arm, gently tapping on it. From here to the Canyon of Wind and Thunder. The distance is over 300,000 kilometers. Even if everything goes smoothly, it'll still take close to a month to reach there. 300,000 kilometers. In the Sector Lord's world, firstly, the gravity was too strong, and secondly, Luo Feng and the others couldn't fly at their highest speed. Hence, relying on Babata's vigilance, it was the smoothest. They could only travel about 10,000 kilometers a day. The horned iron rhinos live in a few places in the Sector Lord's world, all far away from the central area. No matter where we go to hunt one-horned iron rhinos, we still have to go to the Wind and Thunder Canyon. Thunder God creased his eyebrows. This Universe Mercenary Alliance, arranging this mission, it's obvious they want us to cross half of the Sector Lord's world. In the Realm Lord's world, there were naturally many threats. Traversing through half of the Realm Lord's world was definitely a life and death crisis. Even if there was a warning system, it would not be of much use against some natural threats. This is training elimination. Luo Feng shook his head. The Universe Mercenary Alliance wants to eliminate a bunch of unqualified people. If you can't even pass this, you won't have the right to wander the universe in the future. Yes, Hong nodded. From where we are, there are 3 paths to the Wind and Thunder Canyon in the core region of the Realm Lord's world. Everyone take a look. Which one should we take? These 3 paths. Thunder God looked at the map on the screen. They're all quite dangerous. The first path, Luo Feng said. There were slightly more ferocious beasts on the first path, so there were naturally fewer threats. Of course, that was only relative to the other 2 paths. All right, the first one. Hong nodded. Then let's go, Thunder God said. Luo Feng's team began their longest journey in the Sector Lord's world. They didn't dare to fly in midair. That would only attract the ferocious beasts and be a death wish. The Sector Lord's world was heaven and hell. The unexplored Sector Lord's world, to many adventurers and mercenaries, was a huge treasure trove, a heaven. At the same time, it was filled with danger. If one wasn't careful, they could lose their life. However, there would still be large amounts of adventurers and universe mercenaries rushing in. And this world of thunder had already been explored a long time ago. Right now, it was only used as a tool to test for trainee mercenaries. Bastard. Beside a thistle bush in the long Suwa mountain range, Choyu single-handedly grabbed the huge blade, gritting his teeth. Thinking about the venomous voice of his female companion before she died, thinking about the seemingly beautiful blue blade cutting down the star level 9 stage corpses, Choyu was filled with rage and fear. His entire body couldn't help but tremble with rage. This was his first time entering the Sector Lord's world. In the past, he was a genius. Along with many other geniuses, he was carefully nurtured by the Hunter Tiger building. Even though nurturing was tiring, there wasn't any danger to his life. However, this time, I almost died. Choyu's heart was pounding. In the past, he had many fantasies about the future. He had killed before. However, when he faced death himself, he realized that he was actually so afraid of death. The instructor said that fear isn't wrong. However, you must remain calm. Fear is also a form of strength, a strength that can allow the body to evolve. Calm. Choyu gradually calmed down. Looking at the bodyguard beside him, he ordered, "Help me guard the surroundings. I'm entering the virtual universe." "Yes," the bodyguard replied respectfully. The Hunter Tiger building had orders for these young elites who entered the Sector Lord's world to participate in the Universe Mercenary Trainee exams. Every day, they had to use the Virtual Universe Network to send a mail to the supervisor. If a comrade died, the mail had to explain it. As long as the mail was sent, it meant that the comrade was still alive. Virtual Universe Network, Black Dragon Mountain Island. His entire body was fat. With 2 horns on his head, a fat man was lying on a chair. In front of him floated screen. A mail appeared on the screen. Another one reporting that he's still alive. "Open it," the fat man said slowly. The mail automatically opened. The fat man looked at it slowly, after which he stood up fiercely, staring in shock at the mail. This 8th team only has 2 people left alive, and one of them even lost a level 2 elite. The fat man sent a communication request to the other 7 members of the 8th team. Indeed, there was no reply. The Hunter Tiger building usually assigned bodyguards according to the importance of the young generation. For example, a team of 10 would have 5 youths and 5 bodyguards, and some teams would have 1 youth and 9 bodyguards. This 8th team originally had a total of 8 bodyguards. 2 of them were youths. They had lost a bodyguard before. Obviously, the 8th team was considered a more important team. To the Hunter Tiger building, losing a level 3 elite was painful. Losing a level 2 elite was even more painful. If they were to lose a level 1 elite, they would be hopping mad. As for special elites, it was hard for the Hunter Tiger building to even meet one. Those absolute geniuses were hard to come by. In the universe, the fat man opened his eyes. Through the external simulation, he saw a huge object in the distant space. Since I'm about to reach the headquarters, I might as well report this personally. That huge object was a planet. Accurately speaking, it was a planet that seemed to be made of alloy. This was the headquarters of the Hunter Tiger building, Black Tiger Star. This Black Tiger Star was basically a large planet fortress. It was completely black. On it were many deep tunnels that led directly into the planet. And on the surface of the planet, there were thick cannons that could destroy a D-grade universe ship in one shot. There were also magnetic rail cannons, large laser cannons, and many other weapons. On the entire planet, there were some places that occasionally emitted a dark blue glow. Universe ships after universe ships covered the sky and land. They were like countless locusts. Occasionally, large amounts of them would fly into the planet from the tunnels. Occasionally, large amounts of universe ships would fly out from the tunnels. Those ships, with a glance, seemed to be at least C-grade. There were even D-grade ships and occasionally E-grade ships. The ships that covered the sky and land were like locusts. And the planet fortress was a huge object constantly swallowing large amounts of ships. This was the headquarters of the Hunter Tiger building, one of the four great universe organizations of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. There were many sector Lord warriors stationed here all year round. The entire planet was made from a very normal mineral planet. They spent an astronomical amount of wealth to transform it into a fortress. Planet Fortress. The chubby man's spaceship followed the guidance signal from the planet's fortress and flew into one of the many deep tunnels on the surface of Black Tiger Planet. From space, these deep tunnels were very small and inconspicuous, but once one flew closer, one would realize that each tunnel was more than 100 kilometers wide. The universe ship entered the tunnel. Has the new equipment been installed? The fat man looked carefully at the walls on both sides of the tunnel. On the walls, there were more black centipede-like alloy frames embedded into the walls. After a while, the universe ship entered the docking bay. The fat man was dressed in a blue long robe. He followed the two sides of the virtual sky and white clouds along the wide corridor. On this corridor, one could see over 100 people. Almost everyone was dressed in a blue long robe. Only two of them were dressed in white, and on their chests hung 2-star mercenary badges. Greetings, Lord. Passing by the two white-robed men, the fat man bowed. Everyone else in the corridor did the same. In the 100 Tiger building, blue robes represented the universe level, as well as a few people with important positions. The fat man was only a star level. However, due to his authority, he had the right to wear a blue robe. White robes represented the domain lords and a few of the upper echelons. Black robes represented the sector lords. As for the undying beings, even if the 100 Tiger building had produced undying beings in its history, they would have long gone to the Ganwu universe country or other places. To the undying beings, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire wasn't able to contain them. No matter, the 100 Tiger building, Black Cloud Guild, North Dragon City, Three Axe Mountain, these four great universe organizations were considered huge in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Their foundations were deep, and the universe-level warriors under them were numerous. Even the Empire's royal family didn't dare to provoke them. Just looking at the 100 Tiger building's universe ships that covered the skies and Earth, one could see their power. Chapter 335. Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, on the famous Tsanglan Star, in the World of Thunder. Luo Feng has been in the World of Thunder for 36 days. On the prairie, weeds grew everywhere. Some of the weeds were over 10 meters tall. Under the nurturing of the universe source energy, these weeds were extremely tough. They were comparable to grade A alloys and much tougher than the diamonds on Earth. The wind blew and the grass bent over. Sometimes, a few ferocious beasts that were resting on the prairie would appear. 5 streaks of light quickly flew past the underbrush. In the distance, a gigantic beast covered in green scales lay there with its head drooping down like a small mountain. It raised its head and glanced over, as if it had sensed something. It let out a low roar, and then lowered its head again. We've already left the territory of the ferocious beast green-scaled crocodile. There's a group of ferocious beasts 9 kilometers in the 11 o'clock direction. We'll go around them. The 5 flowing lights slightly paused. Luo Feng, who was wearing an alloy battle uniform, communicated through his spiritual force. Let's go, we'll rest after another 3,000 kilometers today. Yes, master. Tainan He and Ao Gu were both extremely respectful. Whoosh. The 5 flowing lights continued to fly forward. With Babada's warning, I thought the universe mercenary trainee exam would be much easier. Who would have thought that it would be more complicated than I thought? Luo Feng's gaze looked into the distance as he flew on his soaring shuttle. The weeds on both sides swiftly retreated. I thought I could reach the Valley of Thunder in a month, but now it looks like I'll need at least half the time. After nearly 4 hours. Stop, Luo Feng communicated. The 5 of them stopped at the same time. Even Hong and Thunder God listened to Luo Feng's orders in the World of Thunder because they knew that Luo Feng had a special warning device that could detect danger within a certain range. Tainan He, Ao Gu, you guys take turns guarding. Big brother, second brother, and I will rest first, said Luo Feng. Yes, master, the 2 of them respectfully replied. Luo Feng looked around. It was already nighttime, and the weeds were growing everywhere, making it almost impossible to see the surroundings with the naked eye. Our luck is pretty good today. We didn't encounter any danger. Thunder God let out a smile. Now we can finally take a breather. I was also worried that it would be like yesterday. Hong also heaved a sigh of relief. Luo Feng couldn't help but think back to yesterday's scene. He was still a little scared. Yesterday, his little team was advancing according to the usual route. Originally, they were advancing very easily according to the usual route. However, suddenly, with the help of the alarm system, they discovered that there were 5 ferocious beasts rushing towards them from 18 kilometers away. Obviously, they had discovered their little team long ago. If there was nothing obstructing his line of sight, it was normal for star states to see more than 100 kilometers with their naked eyes. These 5 beasts were chasing after his team, so it was actually easy for them to escape. After all, there were weeds everywhere. But perhaps one of the 5 vicious beasts had a particularly sharp nose as it chased after the 5 of them. In the process, it even let out a series of roars, attracting the attention of the other vicious beasts on the prairie. In an instant, the team of 5 dire beasts chasing after them turned into hundreds of dire beasts chasing after them. In the end, they had to rely on AO goo and the hybrid copper essence shard, as well as the 2 liquid silver guards. They had to risk their lives to escape. Our luck yesterday was still not bad, Luo Feng exclaimed. If it was the black ring snake group that appeared later, if they had appeared earlier and formed an encirclement with the hundreds of ferocious beasts, we really wouldn't have been able to escape. Black ring snake group? Thunder God stared. Don't even mention it. Just thinking about yesterday makes me scared. Yesterday was our worst day in the world of thunder. Make the best use of our time and train well. Hong ordered softly. There are very few opportunities to train in the world of thunder. All right. Luo Feng and Thunder God didn't speak further. They closed their eyes and began to train. Luo Feng was very satisfied with his training days in the world of thunder, even though there were occasional accidents along the way, making him very worried and even brushing shoulders with death a few times. But under this kind of pressure, the progress he made during these 36 days of cultivation was very, very shocking. Maybe it was because the world of thunder was filled with universe energies, allowing him to train even faster. Or maybe it was because of the evolution catalyst he got from the virtual universe. Anyway, 36 days, adding the time it took to rush from Balan Star to Dragon Star, and then for Dragon Star to Sanglan Star. These 2 months allowed him to go from the Star Level 2 stage to this Star Level 3 stage. This was just a simple improvement in his body's fitness level. The real improvement was in his comprehension of the soaring shuttle and soul imprint. Luo Feng's personal virtual space. On a mountain peak that reached the clouds, a white-robed Luo Feng appeared out of thin air. Beside him was a blood-red castle erected on the mountain peak. Rumble, the castle opened. Master, the 18 rock giants respectfully shouted. Luo Feng directly entered the castle. Under Mei Ji's lead, he entered the training room. The 4 walls of the training room were filled with bookshelves. The bookshelves were filled with books. These were all Yun Mo Planet's secret manuals. And Luo Feng directly walked to one of the bookshelves and took out a golden book, Soul Imprint Volume 2. Holding the book, Luo Feng directly sat on a chair and opened the book to read. Chi-Chi, Shishi, the demon Babata, who was covered in a black robe and had blood-red eyes, sat on the side. He held a bright red apple and took a big bite. He glanced at Luo Feng and continued to eat his apple without a care. Suddenly, he froze and stopped. He turned his head towards Luo Feng and carefully looked at the book in Luo Feng's hand. Luo Feng, yelled Babata in shock. What's up? Luo Feng raised his head and looked at Babata in confusion. You've already finished learning the basics of Soul Imprint, said Babata in shock. Among the secret manuals of Yun Mo Planet, Soul Imprint is ranked number 1. And ever since Luo Feng received these secret manuals, he learned the most basic parts of the few important books that Babata arranged for him. After that, he started to study according to his interests. Luo Feng mainly studied the two manuals Soul Imprint and Tower of the Void, because from the descriptions in the books, it was clear that the master of Yun Mo Planet was very proud of these two manuals. The master of Yun Mo Planet once said in Soul Imprint, "The Soul Imprint technique is the most important technique of my Yun Mo Planet. It is also the biggest reason why I, Huyin Bo, rose to power." And the master of Yun Mo Planet once said in Tower of the Void, "Disciple, you cannot slack off on your training in the Tower of the Void." Back then, if I could complete the 7-level pagoda of the Tower of the Void, I wouldn't have lost my life. When traveling in the universe, you have to train hard in your defensive techniques. And so, Luo Feng has been training hard in these two techniques. Training in these techniques requires a large amount of time and energy, and also requires comprehension. And it hasn't been long since he received these manuals. Even though his strength has increased quite quickly, it's mainly because of the body of the golden horned beast that allowed his strength to increase so quickly. Otherwise, according to Babada's plan, he would need 50 years to reach the star level. The main reason is because his foundation needs to be solid. And after spending so much time, Luo Feng finally completed the most basic requirements of Soul Imprint. And Tower of the Void still remained at the most basic first level. "What's the matter, Babada? Is it weird?" Luo Feng was shocked. "You've met all the requirements in Soul Imprint Volume 1? Babada asked. "I've met all of them," Luo Feng said. "Oh, no wonder you're a soul born from the body of the golden horned beast. You're strong enough." Babada couldn't help but to compliment. "I thought it would take a few more years." "Right, Luo Feng, from today onwards, you can learn the 10,000 Blade Soul Imprint from Soul Imprint Volume 2. This is the most basic Soul Imprint. When you completely learn the 10,000 Blade Soul Imprint, you'll have the right to condense the Slave Imprint," Babada explained. Luo Feng listened with anticipation. Using the Soul Imprint technique to truly control a person is very difficult. It requires a higher level of skill in the Soul Imprint technique. At least, he can't do it right now. "I'll first learn the 10,000 Blade Soul Imprint." Luo Feng flipped open the book. "Babada, there's so many soul imprints here, why this one?" Luo Feng couldn't help but to ask. "Stupid. It's better to focus on a few things." Babada scolded. "Don't you specialize in the soaring shuttle? Then the requirement for the Soul Imprint technique is to be able to affect the enemy. This 10,000 Blade Soul Imprint uses the Soul Imprint to form a sword, a direct soul attack. Give the enemy a headache. If they're distracted for a moment during battle, you can use the soaring shuttle to cut them into pieces." "Okay," Luo Feng nodded. "Begin." Training in the 10,000 Blade Soul Imprint isn't easy. Once you finish with your skill in the Soul Imprint, you'll be able to condense the Slave Imprint. When that time comes, you can directly enslave others and make them your eternal servant. Just like how your teacher has 9 undying servants. Babada threw out the bait. The Slave Imprint. How excited. Luo Feng was really looking forward to this technique. Even if it's for the Slave Imprint, he has to work hard on the 10,000 Blade Soul Imprint. While Luo Feng's consciousness was in his personal virtual space, reading the Soul Imprint technique, and started practice the first offensive Soul Imprint technique he learned, 10,000 Blade Soul Imprint. His other body, the Golden Horned Beast, was completely immersed in the training of absolute space in his internal world. Internal world, on the Golden Continent. The Golden Horned Beast, that was as large as a mountain range, was continuously casting the absolute space technique. Its dark golden eyes had a bit of dissatisfaction. "After so long, I still can't complete the first stage of absolute space. What's going on?" In the world of thunder, Luo Feng was under that kind of pressure. It seemed like his brain's comprehension increased quite a bit under the pressure, and he had some understanding towards absolute space. However, he was still far from completing the first stage of absolute space. "How?" The golden horned beast raised its head and let out an angry roar. Its current body length was already over 900 m. Yes, after consuming the 89 times metal combination for over 3 months, which was equivalent to over 22 years of normal evolution. It had already stepped into the star level 9 stage from the star level 7 stage. The golden horn beast that had reached the star level 9 stage was just one step away from stepping into the universe level. And this step was also the hardest step in the entire star level evolution process. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 336. Immersed in his training, time passed quickly. Luo Feng, it's almost daybreak. Hong and Thunder God have both stopped their training. Within the quiet training room, Babata was sleeping on a chair, his eyes closed as he spoke. Luo Feng closed the book in his hands, closing his eyes. His mind flashed through the detailed training process of the 10,000 Blade Soul Seal technique, the process of unleashing it, the theory behind it, etc., after which Luo Feng smiled as he opened his eyes. This night, he had finally grasped the theory behind the 10,000 Blade Soul Seal technique. From tomorrow onwards, he would officially begin training. Once he had mastered it, this 10,000 Blade Soul Seal technique could be said to be the only soul attack technique Luo Feng had. Babata, I'm leaving. Luo Feng placed the book on the shelf. Countdown reminder. Until the Newland Shan family arrives on Earth, there's still 2 years, 4 months, and 29 days. Babata shouted. 2 years, 4 months, and 29 days. Luo Feng muttered softly, his eyes gleaming coldly. The Newland Shan family troops that would arrive in 2 years. He had no way of placing his hopes on others. In a short 2 years, Hong and Thunder God's strength wasn't enough to help at all. He could only hold the fort for now. A little more than 2 years. What do I do? If the Newland Shan family's fleet sends a universe level 6 or 7 warrior, then how do I deal with them? Luo Feng was troubled too. His golden horn beast body could indeed step into the universe level in a few months. However, the moment he stepped into the universe level, the time required to evolve would become much longer, and if he used the metal combination, the price would be much higher than when he was in the star level. He didn't have enough money on him. Milky Way, Void Region. A D3 class, streamlined spaceship that looked like an axe was flying rapidly in the starry sky. By Kaluo, you come out? Within the control room, his ears pointed, the second-generation head of the Newland Shan family, Wen Newland Shan, turned to look at the person. HM. The black robe by Kaluo nodded. Doan felt uncomfortable within. As the second-generation head of the family, naturally, he had long been a disciple of the head ancestor. And this by Kaluo was his junior. However, this by Kaluo's comprehension was extremely high. He was one of the most outstanding disciples of Newland Shan. Right now, one was at the universe level 6, while by Kaluo was at the universe level 8. This by Kaluo naturally had the capital to be arrogant. Universe level 8, in terms of comprehension and battle experience, by Kaluo far surpassed the former head to one. By Kaluo, what kind of experts do you think there are on Earth? Even the elite squad didn't manage to send back a message before they all died. This opponent isn't weak. Owen looked at the beautiful starry sky in front of him as he asked his junior apprentice brother beside him. By Kaluo's cold eyes looked outside. The automaton race's ships have been parked there, and no one has taken them away. Even if there are experts, they can't be that high. Win's eyes lit up, and he said with a smile, Junior brother is right. Senior brother, how much longer until we reach Earth? By Kaluo asked coldly. Another 2 years, 4 months and 26 days, DeWin said. Oh, then I'll enter the virtual universe first. By Kaluo said, turning and leaving the control room. Doan looked at By Kaluo's silhouette, cursing within, this bastard, leaving his cabin this time. I'm afraid he's just here to ask how much longer until we reach Earth. Before, when he went through the wormhole, he didn't even come out once. Now that we know the approximate time, I'm afraid he won't even come out once during the journey to Earth. By Kaluo, amongst the many disciples of the Newland Shan family, was one of the most solitary ones. If Luo Feng knew that the Newland Shan family had sent 2 universe-level warriors this time, one was a universe level 6 and the other a universe level 8, the pressure on him would have been much greater. It had already been 51 days since they entered the world of thunder. No problem, let's continue. Thunder God sat on the ground and shouted, At this time, Thunder God's waist was covered in fresh blood. Fresh blood had completely seeped out. Don't try to show off. After all, we're very close to the Canyon of Wind and Thunder. There's still around 8,000 kilometers. We'll be there in a day. Luo Feng said softly, "Your injuries are very heavy. Even if you use the Muya crystals, you'll still need a few hours to recover." "Right, second brother. It won't be too late to leave tomorrow." Hong looked at Thunder God. Thunder God gritted his teeth, cursing softly, "Damn, that bastard bird." Luo Feng felt helpless within. From the long Suo mountain range to the Canyon of Wind and Thunder, they had to travel through half of the world of thunder. Before in the long Suo mountain range, relying on Babada's warning device, they didn't meet with any danger at all, hence their group had been very optimistic. Who would have thought? Only after their group had truly traveled through half of the world of thunder did they realize, as the elimination test world, it wasn't as easy as they had imagined. A warning of 20,000 m in the mountains and forests, it was useful because there were many places with lush trees. A distance of 20,000 m was very safe. However, in the plains, grasslands, swamps, reef mountain areas, etc., some ferocious beasts could see up to 100 kilometers with their naked eyes the moment they saw it. With the ferocious beast speed, even if the world of thunder's gravity was strong, they would only need 1 or 2 seconds to cross the 20 kilometers distance. The 20 kilometers warning, Luo Feng's reaction in order for the others to escape, didn't even take a second. Hence meeting with danger was very normal. Just before, a golden strange bird that looked like a huge eagle, probably flying high in the sky, saw the group below from afar, hence it swooped down to kill them. This golden strange bird's speed was extremely fast, and its power was extremely strong. Much stronger than a normal star level 9 fighter. Tainan he was sent flying on the spot. That sharp claw force wreaked havoc. Feng, Luo, and Hong, with their alloy armor on the outside, had the cloud contact armor on the inside to absorb a large amount of the impact, hence they were safe and sound. However, Thunder God was the one who suffered. Luckily, it was only the claw force that flew out of his body. If he had really been caught by that sharp claw, Thunder God's little life would have been gone. And that golden strange bird, after being hit by AO Gu's soul attack, knew it was hard to win quickly. Hence it immediately turned and fled. Everyone must be on guard at all times. The ferocious beast speed is extremely fast. Once I discover them, I'll tell everyone. The time everyone has to dodge and escape will be very short. Luo Feng said seriously, "We're only about 8,000 kilometers away from the Valley of Wind and Thunder. A day's journey. We can't afford to make any mistakes on the last day. We're already in such danger. Those small teams that can't be on guard along the way, it'll definitely be a life and death crisis." Thunder God couldn't help but say, "We've met with many life and death crises too." Hong said, "Another night of meditation." This night, Luo Feng spent his time training within the killing field's killing space, these 10 days of training. While training the soaring shuttle, he also trained the 10,000 Blade Soul Seal. This 10,000 Blade Soul Seal's first level was finally completed. The first level's mark was very simple, being able to unleash a Blade Soul Seal. Soul attacks is using spirit energy to form the most effective arrangement, combining it into one attack. Back then, the spirit readers on Earth's understanding of soul attacks were very weak. Even fighters of the same level couldn't be killed by soul attacks. This Blade Soul Seal structure is obviously strange and intricate. It's even more orderly. Luo Feng was extremely happy within. With the Blade Soul Seal, his strength had doubled. Even against a higher level fighter, the moment his Blade Soul Seal attacks, even if they didn't die, most of them would have their minds go blank for a moment. And the soaring shuttle could take the opportunity to kill the enemy. One real and one fake. This was the strength of a spirit reader. If it was purely fake, relying on soul attacks, illusions, etc., or purely real, relying on spirit weapons, this was not displaying the true strength of a spirit reader. It was a pity whether it was the spirit weapon techniques or the soul attack techniques. They were all secrets. Every technique was incomparably precious. And the higher the level of the techniques, the the harder it was to exchange for them. Just like the Yin Mo Planet Master's greatest pride, the Soul Seal, this technique, even if you used an entire galaxy to exchange for it, the undying beings wouldn't even bother. This was the reason why disciples with backgrounds and masters could cultivate faster and break through more easily. 5 beams of light stopped. It was 5 people. This small team looked at the distant mountain range. The distant mountain range seemed to be covered in snow. It was pitch black. Accurately speaking, it wasn't snow. It was the wind mixed with large amounts of rocks. At the same time, in the air above the mountain range, there were cumulus clouds. Within the cumulus clouds were lightning snakes. It seemed like lightning could strike at any time. Big Brother 30, according to the map, up ahead is the Valley of Wind and Thunder. Thunder God held his breath. Thunder clouds hang in the sky for a long time. Other than the Valley of Wind and Thunder, there's no other place in this world of thunder. Hong squinted his eyes. Luo Feng held his breath as he watched. The Valley of Wind and Thunder, the core of this world of thunder, the center, was also the most dangerous place. And one of the items needed to pass the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam, the Wind Cornerstone, must be obtained from the Valley of Wind and Thunder. Go, Luo Feng ordered. The 5 of them didn't fly anymore, instead walking towards the Valley of Wind and Thunder. The strange thing was, maybe because they knew the Valley of Wind and Thunder was dangerous, not a single ferocious beast appeared around the Valley of Wind and Thunder. There weren't any plants in the valley either. On the bare rocks, the rocks were black, occasionally mixed with a sliver of silver. The wind is so strong. Luo Feng couldn't even walk steadily. How strong is the wind? Thunder God and Hong couldn't help but to be shocked. Earth's level 12 typhoons to star levels couldn't even affect them at all. However, at this time, Luo Feng, Thunder God, and Hong couldn't even walk steadily. This was unbelievable. According to the books, the wind in the Valley of Wind and Thunder, the closer to the center, the deeper the wind is, the stronger it is. The wind at the very bottom, the very center, is like a knife. It contains powerful universe energies. Even if a universe level flew to the center of the valley, he would be shredded by the crazy winds, dying without a doubt. The crazy winds cover the most dangerous bottom, however, has the most wind cornerstones. Of course, there are also many wind cornerstones dancing in the wind. The entire Valley of Wind and Thunder, the most dangerous thing is the thunder. The moment the thunder strikes, even a weak domain lord will die. Even a universe level has no chance of survival, much less a star levels. Everyone, let's talk. How do we go get those wind cornerstones? Luo Feng looked at the other 4 beside him. At this time, a voice resounded in his mind. Luo Feng, within a 20 kilometers radius of your team, there are a total of 1,092 humans. P.S. Chapter 2 has ended. Continue writing the 3rd. Chapter 337. So many. Luo Feng was shocked. Surveying his surroundings, he could barely make out the silhouettes of 2 to 3 small teams. Most of the teams are close to the canyon, and all of them are hidden. Hence, if you don't look carefully, it'll be hard to spot a few teams. Babata's voice resounded. Understood, Luo Feng said. It was completely bare. The rocks on this mountain range were almost all black, with only a few silver mixed in. Luo Feng's team carefully advanced. In the center of the mountain range, it was as though it had been chopped down by a god's blade, splitting the entire mountain range apart, forming a canyon. This huge canyon that seemed to have been formed by a blade was the Canyon of Wind and Thunder. With the universe energy as the source, the raging winds howled, mixed with large amounts of broken rocks. There were even some wind cornerstones that danced in the wind. On both sides of the canyon, in various places, there were many families and powers from the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, the younger generation from many planets. They were the younger generation, and had yet to become true universe warriors. This time was their first test on the path to becoming strong. Luo Feng, this is a map. The location marked out on it is an extremely good location. It's best for your team to hide there. Babata communicated mentally. Luo Feng lowered his head to look at the screen on his arm. Follow me, Luo Feng said softly. Hong, Thunder God, and the other two followed quietly. The closer they got to the canyon, the stronger the winds became. Luo Feng came to a boulder, fiercely lifting it up, revealing a cave, communicating mentally, "Everyone go in, there's a cave inside, it connects directly to the canyon walls." "You can even find such a place?" Thunder God couldn't help but praise. "Go in." Hong led the way in. In this world of thunder, the range of a spirit reader's spirit force was very small. That was because the range of the spirit reader's spirit force was very small in the air, and for the spirit reader's spirit force to pass through these giant rocks mixed with universe origin energy, it was absolutely impossible for someone at least at the star level to do so. Spirit energy couldn't scan. Hence, such a place was very hard to find. And to dig it himself? With the canyon of wind and thunder having been tempered by the strong winds for a long time, it would take at least 1 to 2 years of work to completely dig it out. Luckily, I had Babada's reminder. Luo Feng jumped into the cave, covering the boulder. The cave was within the mountain range. He walked along the cave until he reached one of the mountain walls leading to the Wind and Thunder Canyon. There was a hole about 30 centimeters wide on the mountain wall. "What is this?" Thunder God's eyes lit up. Hong Lian picked up a small, smooth stone near the entrance of the cave. The stone was mainly black, but the surface of the stone was coated with a strange blue film. The ordinary stones here were all black, or black stones with a hint of silver mixed in. Only the Wind Corner stone had a layer of dark blue light. It was said that the Wind Corner stone had been struck by lightning, but it didn't turn into powder. It just so happened that it had absorbed a trace of the power of lightning to form this strange stone. "Wind Cornerstone, it's the Wind Cornerstone," Thunder God said. "I didn't expect to be able to pick up a Wind Cornerstone." Luo Feng smiled as he walked to the entrance of the cave. Outside the cave, the wind howled like ghosts and howled like wolves, turning the entire sky dark. As one side of the cave was blocked, the wind was very weak. Luo Feng turned and said to the other four in the cave, "The wind outside is very terrifying. It's very hard to find another wind cornerstone." Previously, there was a wind cornerstone on the ground of the cave. It was probably one of the wind cornerstones that flew into the cave. However, this was purely a matter of luck. Otherwise, there wouldn't only be one within the cave. Second brother, third brother. According to the books, we have 3 methods. Hong said softly, "The first method is to go to the top of the canyon and risk your life to collect the wind cornerstones. Because the wind gets stronger the deeper you go, the stronger it gets towards the center. Hence, the wind at the top of the canyon is much weaker. At least a star level 7 or 8 would be able to withstand it. The only danger is, as it's at the highest point, it's easy to attract the lightning. That lightning in the cumulus cloud, any one of them would definitely have no chance of survival. The second method is to get close to the canyon and use spirit energy or genetic energy to pull 1 or 2 of the wind cornerstones that were swept away by the wind over. This is difficult to do, but the danger is very low. It requires patience. The third method is to kill the other teams that have the wind cornerstones and steal them. Everybody, which method do you think we should use?" Hong looked at Thunder God and Luo Feng. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and pondered. Going to the top of the canyon to collect the wind cornerstones was the fastest. If one didn't get struck by lightning, it would be like picking a stone. However, according to the experiences of the seniors, when going to the top of the canyon to collect the wind cornerstones, one had to keep all the metals on one's body. It was said that the more metal one had, the more it would attract the lightning to strike. If one arranged for a metal robot to go, there was a 100% chance of being struck by lightning. In humans wearing normal clothes, the chances of being struck by lightning were about 50%. If one wore alloy armor, the chances of being struck by lightning would rise to about 2/3. This was the experience of the generations of seniors that fought in the world of thunder. The first method is very dangerous, and it's purely based on luck. It's not for us. The third method, robbing and killing the other teams? Luo Feng shook his head. The cave we're in right now is extremely good. The cave entrance is right on the mountain wall of the canyon. We'll temporarily use this second method. At the same time, we'll see how the other teams acquire the wind cornerstones. Let's observe first before deciding. All right. Hong nodded. Thunder God agreed too. Hence Luo Feng and the others temporarily began their days of waiting. Catching the wind cornerstones that were flying close to the entrance of the cave, one needed luck, and the other needed strength. As the raging winds made it hard for one's naked eye to see clearly, with large amounts of stones mixed within, there would occasionally be one or two wind cornerstones. Hence it required luck. And the moment the wind cornerstones flew past the cave entrance, one had to grab them in an instant. If they missed it, they would have to wait a long time for the next time. However, the raging winds contained the universe energies. The moment the spirit energy was about to reach in, it would be destroyed and dissipated. Luo Feng's spirit energy hand could only extend about 20 centimeters out of the cave entrance, maintaining the spirit energy hand without dissipating. And the star level 9 AO Gu's spirit energy hand could only extend 1 m out without dissipating. Exceeding 1 m, AO Gu couldn't maintain the stability of his spirit energy. On the contrary, what made Luo Feng pleasantly surprised was the cloud contact vine that was currently a star level 4. After shrinking, it formed a vine that was extremely sturdy, able to reach about 2 m deep into the wind with lightning speed and swiftly retract. Even though the vine was covered in wounds, its recovery speed was indeed able to maintain the 2 m deep result. This indeed made Luo Feng surprised, pleasantly surprised. He reckoned that this raging wind infused with the universe energies was even more destructive to spirit energy-like existences, but to plants like the vine, it probably had less of a destructive effect. In the Canyon of Wind and Thunder, the majority of the teams relied on this method of waiting to grab the wind cornerstones, occasionally forcing the slave bodyguards to risk their lives at the top of the canyon to grab the wind cornerstones. However, such teams were very rare. After all, the slave bodyguards were also a part of their battle strength. Losing one or two would have a huge impact on the team. On the third day in the Canyon of Wind and Thunder, Luo Feng and the others acquired their second wind cornerstone. On the fifth day in the Canyon of Wind and Thunder, Luo Feng and the others acquired their third wind cornerstone. On the ninth day, they acquired their fourth wind cornerstone. And this was still because of their good location. A normal team, just passing through half of the world of Thunder, would require a year and a half. Collecting the wind cornerstones would require another year and a half. Hence, spending a few years of effort was normal. Luo Feng and his team were already considered to be an extremely efficient team. On the 32nd day in the Canyon of Wind and Thunder, this cave's location is really good. If this goes on, in another month, we'll definitely be able to collect all the wind cornerstones. Thunder God laughed. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, Tainan He, and Ao Gu, the five of them sat cross-legged. One of the vines extended from Luo Feng's arm and stopped at the entrance of the cave, ready to attack at any time. And in front of the five of them was a projection screen on the mountain wall. It was created by Luo Feng's living AI Babada. On the screen were 4 images depicting the scenery within a 20 kilometers radius. Even though we're in the cave, we can clearly see the situation within the 20 kilometers radius. Luo Feng laughed. How refreshing. Thunder God complimented. Look, there's another 2 teams rushing over, dodging really quickly. This spirit reader is not bad too. Thunder God's eyes gleamed, evaluating one of the images that suddenly appeared 2 teams. However, his expression froze, saying, "It's her all." Luo Feng's expression changed. Back when he, his big brother, and second brother were in the virtual universe killing fields, they made quite a few friends. Amongst them were Hua and Bielemu. Before Hua and Bielemu said they wanted to participate in the universe mercenary trainee exam. The entire Black Dragon Mountain Starfield was in this place. Hua and the others being here was very normal. Let's go. Hong was the first to rush out. Ao Gu and Tainan He looked at Luo Feng. Quickly, Luo Feng didn't hesitate. Immediately, the 5-man team swiftly followed the other end of the cave and rushed out, using their spirit energy to sweep away the unremarkable rocks. After the 5 of them came out, they put the rocks down again. In the distance, Hua's team was currently being pressured and attacked by another team. Hua's team only had 2-star level 9s, while the opponent had 5-star level 9s. However, both sides were mostly injured. Obviously, they were fighting crazily. Both teams swiftly noticed another team rushing over from the distance. Hurrah! Spirit energy transmission resounded in his ears. Hurrah turned his head to look. Within the 5 lightning silhouettes rushing over were Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God, his 3 good friends. He immediately revealed a look of glee, and the 2 rushing at the front were Tainan He and Ao Gu. Especially Ao Gu, who had released his spirit weapon from afar, becoming a golden beam of light. 2-star level 9s? The enemy team looked. The quantum computer had long since determined the opponent's strength. Retreat. Quickly retreat. The captain ordered. Without any hesitation, the team swiftly retreated. Even though they had 5-star level 9s, 3 of them were injured. One had no. There were strong and weak star level 9s. The strong ones could fight 10 of the same level and level. Hurwah's team had a rather strong star level 9. This was also the reason why they were able to hold on for so long, even though they were at a disadvantage. And the 2 rushing over right now. Daring to rush over meant they had confidence. The 2 teams converged. The enemy team thought they wouldn't be able to hold on. Even if they could, with both sides heavily injured, the enemy team wouldn't be willing. Hence, they decided to retreat. Luo Feng's team and Hurwah's team converged. Thank you. You are. Immediately, a bald youth with green markings on both sides of his face walked over to thank them. They're my friends, Hurwah said, simultaneously walking forward. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God. Hurwah said, what happened? How did it end up like this? Luo Feng and the other 2 looked at Hurwah. Thunder God said, Hurwah, aren't you for the North Dragon City organization? How did you end up like this? Thunder God and Hong knew the importance of a universe language the first time they came into contact with the virtual universe. Naturally, they began to learn it. With their brain expansiveness, learning was indeed very fast. Even though they weren't proficient, communicating wasn't a problem. Speaking of which, it was really tragic this time. Hurrah shook his head. Our team had 5 elites and 5 bodyguards. When we were dealing with the single-horned iron rhino horn, we were surrounded by ferocious beasts. One of our bodyguards died. Later, on our way to the Wind and Thunder Canyon, we were ambushed 6 times in a row by other squads. In the process, we lost another 2 bodyguards and 3 elite companions. Hurwah's expression was bitter. Now, our squad only has 2 elites and 2 bodyguards left. Luo Feng felt his heart go cold as he heard. My God! Even though his team had experienced over 10 life and death situations, most of them were from the ferocious beasts. As for the ambushes, with Ao Gu and the hybrid copper essence shard, it was really a clean sweep. Plus, with Babata's vigilance, Luo Feng's team's journey was tough. There were people injured, but no one died. However, Hurwah's team actually lost more than half of them. Where's Bilemu? Thunder God asked. In the other teams, he's dead. Hurwah shook his head. Luo Feng was stunned. That rough-looking black bear-like youth was dead? Luo Feng could still clearly remember the scene of him, Hong and Thunder God wishing them safe return. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, Bilemu was already dead? How could this happen? There's no use in being sad. Hurrah shook his head and laughed bitterly. Many of the brothers and sisters that I've lived with for so many years have died. This is the first test for us elites. Only after going through life and death situations and finally breaking through to the universe level can we be called strong and become important members of the organization. Selection. The bald green-marked youth beside shook his head. This is the selection. Large amounts of so-called geniuses and elites, after going through life and death situations, are eliminated and die. Only at the very end do a few universe levels emerge. Our training camp has over 10,000 geniuses and elites, but if 10 of them can become universe levels, that's already not bad. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Cruel, very cruel. These are the rules of the universe organizations. They take in large amounts of geniuses and elites, give them the best education, provide them with the best conditions, and then give them the cruelest elimination rules. finally giving birth to a few strong warriors. It can be said, those who participate in the universe-level mercenary trainee exam aren't even considered strong. They're all just trainees after going through 1 in 1,000. No, that's the probability of the big organization's elites, precisely speaking, after going through 1 in 10 million chance, maybe a universe level will emerge. Rumble, the entire world of Thunder suddenly shook violently, without any warning whatsoever. All the teams were shocked. What's going on? Is this world about to collapse? My God! The entire valley of wind and thunder spanned over 1,000 km. The tens of thousands of star-level explorers who came to take the exam all looked up in shock at their surroundings, at the world. And Luo Feng's team and Heruo's team naturally looked up in shock at their surroundings. The entire world was shaking. Even the mountains were shaking. What's going on? Luo Feng looked around. Over there! Someone shouted. Tens of thousands of stellar-level adventurers, as long as they were on a mountain range, saw the mountain range not far away crack open, and a pitch black hole that seemed to have been torn open appeared. This black hole was half on the mountain range, and the other half was in the mountain range. The surrounding space was torn open, and it was extremely strange. P.S. 3 chapters completed. I'm lagging behind in the monthly votes. I hope everyone supports me. There's also the golden keyboard voting. You can vote on the book's introduction page. I hope everyone supports me. Thank you. Chapter 338. Look, what's that? Thunder God stared wide-eyed, pointing at the distant pitch black hole. A black hole that tore open the world of Thunder. Beside him, Heruo from the North Dragon City team creased his eyebrows too. Luo Feng was staring at the black hole, pondering. This black hole wasn't a normal cave, but a mysterious existence that tore open space. Babada, just what is this black hole? It should be an entrance to a world, right? An entrance to a world. Babada's excited voice resounded. Entrance to a world? Luo Feng held his alloy blade, feeling suspicious. And at this time, the tens of thousands of explorers on the mountain range were all looking at the black hole. Suddenly a voice resounded. A world within a world. This could very well be the entrance to a world within a world. Right? A world within a world. It's a world within a world. Quickly, large amounts of star-level youths from the various families and powers of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, or even youths from different planets, all with different looks. However, at this time, they were all extremely excited, all becoming beams of light, over 10,000 beams of light swiftly flying towards the distant black hole. It's a world within a world. Heruo too was extremely excited. A world within a world? Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God were all suspicious. At this time, it was time to display their knowledge. The explorers from the various families and planets all had some understanding of many things and legends. However, Luo Feng and the other two hadn't been in contact with the virtual universe network for long. They didn't know much. Quickly rush. Don't let them get ahead of us. Heruo shouted, his team swiftly rushing into the distance. Even though Luo Feng was suspicious, his team followed the large amounts of people and swiftly rushed over. Luo Feng, don't rush. Babada's voice resounded. A few minutes late is fine. Babada, what's a world within a world? Luo Feng asked. A sector lord can create a world. You should know that. And within this world, he can create another world and hide it within this world. This world within this world is called a world within a world. Babada explained. However, to create another world within this world, first, we need the world within a world to be stable enough that requires large amounts of universe crystals as the foundation. Luo Feng understood. The world of Thunder was hidden within a villa on Tsanglan Star, and this world within a world was hidden in a secret place within the world of Thunder. Creating a world within a world costs a lot. That's why they usually build a world within a world at all costs to hide treasures. Babada said. The black hole that appeared beside the Wind and Thunder Canyon attracted a large number of adventurers. Within the crowd, there was a small team dressed entirely in black, 9-star level 9s and 1-star level 2. It was the 9th Princess team that killed the horned iron rhinos. Your Highness, a bodyguard greeted respectfully. Interesting, Very interesting. The white-skinned youth wielded a blade, looking at the black hole and smiling. A world within a world? The cost of building a world was already high enough. He wanted to build another world within this world. The difficulty was 10 times higher. For a sector lord to be willing to pay such a huge price to create a world within a world, there must be a true treasure hidden within. This world of thunder has long been excavated, after which it was used by the Universe Mercenary Alliance as a testing world. After so long, countless people have come here, but no one has found a world within a world. That team actually accidentally opened the entrance to the world within a world. The young man revealed a smile. Luck. That's luck. Your Majesty's luck has always been good. The black-clothed bodyguard beside said respectfully. No, this world within a world is too big of a piece of meat. The youth shook his head. To be able to make a sector lord pay a huge price to create a world within a world to hide, it's definitely a treasure that even a sector lord would be jealous of. The news of the world within a world would swiftly spread to the 4 big organizations, the absolute warriors of our empire, the domain lords, and even the sector lords would rush over. Hence, this group of star-level explorers wouldn't be able to get any true treasures. The youth said disdainfully, Your Majesty, if you were able to get any treasures, that group of warriors wouldn't come to steal from you. The black-clothed bodyguard said. The youth smiled. Woo, the team at the very front, the robots they sent and have come out again. The entrance to the world within a world isn't dangerous. Let's go, we'll enter. The youth ordered. The 9 bodyguards under him acknowledged. Quickly, the entrance to the world within a world isn't dangerous. We can enter. Brothers from the 100 Tiger Building quickly follow. The star-level explorers were all going crazy. Luo Feng's team and Heruo's team swiftly entered the black hole amidst the crowd. This is the world within a world? Luo Feng looked at his surroundings. It was currently nighttime within the world within a world. Within the darkness, there were faint threads of light floating about. One couldn't see very far with the naked eye. Brother Luo Feng, wait a moment. I'll report the news to the organization. Heruo said, Report to the organization? Luo Feng looked at Heruo. Hong and Thunder God were shocked too. Encountering such a huge matter, if we don't report it, in the future, we'll be in deep trouble. Heruo shook his head. Beside him, another comrade had already closed his eyes, his consciousness connected to the virtual universe. Following which, Heruo closed his eyes too. As for the 2 bodyguards, they stood by the side, silently guarding them. Luo Feng sighed within as he saw the situation. This organization's influence on their disciples was simply too exaggerated. Looks like the 4 big organizations within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire would quickly get wind of this news. The Black Dragon Mountain star field encompassed over 8,000 galaxies with trillions of life planets. The roots of the 4 big organizations spread throughout many galaxies, and among them, in terms of position and power, the Black Cloud Guild, North Dragon City, 100 Tiger Building, and 3 Axe Mountain, the undisputed number 1 amongst the 4 was the 3 Axe Mountain. The 3 Axe Mountain was different from the other 3 big organizations. The other 3 organizations trained their elites, etc., and the 3 Axe Mountain didn't even accept star levels. To join the 3 Axe Mountain, the lowest one had to be a universe level. Within the 3 Axe Mountain, in terms of position, the universe levels were called soldiers, the domain lords were called commanders, and the sector lord were called generals. It was said the 3 founders of the 3 Axe Mountain had the highest title of generals. These 3 founders, 2 of them had already become undying. The last one had reached the pinnacle of sector lords hundreds of thousands of years ago, invincible amongst the sector lords, after which there was no news of him. No one knew if he broke through to the undying level or if he died. You're talking about Song Lan, Star's World of Thunder? A man dressed in a dark red battle uniform, draped in a peculiar black cape, looked at the silver-haired old man draped in a white cape. Yes, General, the old man said respectfully. You may leave, the general ordered. Yes. The old man's silhouette flashed and disappeared. The eyes of the man in the crimson battle uniform were faintly flashing with lightning. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, and his fingers lightly moved. The surrounding space began to ripple, and even cracks in space would occasionally appear. General said in a low voice, "The world of thunder was created by Realm Lord Kaboo back then. No wonder Kaboo's hidden treasures couldn't be found. So he even created a world within a world." The Universe Mercenary Alliance was very interesting too, obtaining this world of thunder early on, excavating it for so long, all the treasures were gone. Only then did they transport large amounts of ferocious beasts in, creating a test world. Who would have thought this test world still had a world within a world? Interesting. Kaboo, he's been dead for tens of thousands of years, yet he's never stopped worrying. The general's eyes gleamed, almost as though he could pierce through space. That space technique he obtained back then, who knows, it might be left in that world within a world. The world of thunder, back then the world of thunder Sector Lord Kaboo created, there's still a world within a world. Sector Lord Kaboo created this world within a world. The treasures he hid definitely weren't ordinary. Luckily, Sanglan Star is close to me. Ha! Quick, 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 get on the ship. We're leaving for Sanglan Star immediately. In a base, large amounts of Star Level 9 warriors swiftly rushed into the ship, following which 2 domain lords also flew in, following which the ship took off. This day, the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire was in an uproar because of this news. Even though the Black Dragon Mountain Empire controlled over 8,000 galaxies, a Sector Lord was already considered the pinnacle of power in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. For example, the 16 big families. It was all because they had a Sector Lord that they had such a position. The creator of the world of thunder, Sector Lord Kaboo, was a pinnacle Sector Lord warrior back then. He created a world within a world. What treasures would there be? The entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire, even the royal family sent people over, the 4 big organizations all sent their experts over. In the eyes of the large powers, even though those star-level explorers were the ones who discovered the world within a world, the ones who could truly obtain the treasures of the world within a world were undoubtedly them. Star levels? Just cannon fodder. A fiery red planet. The planet's diameter was 8,600 kilometers. The planet's surface was covered in fiery red sand. This was a planet of sand and rocks, without any signs of life. The planet's surface temperature could reach a maximum of over 3,000 degrees. It was a normal planet unsuitable for humans to live on. It could be seen everywhere in the universe. On this planet, a fiery red tall mountain. The wind blew past. The tall mountain was deathly silent. Rumble. Very suddenly, the entire tall mountain fiercely exploded. Trillions of mountain rocks flew in all directions. A purple flame rushed into the sky. Enveloped in the purple flame, wearing an armor, eyes blazing with flames, a bald brute floated in the air. On his forehead was a strange flame imprint. Sector Lord Kaboo actually left behind a world within a world. No wonder I haven't heard any news of that spatial technique, Inheritance Crystal Ball, in so many years. That Inheritance Crystal Ball could very well be in a world within a world. That's a complete inheritance. Haha, it's mine. Rumble. In front of him appeared a huge silver pyramid. It was almost exactly the same as the automaton race's pyramid ship back on Earth, just that it was a little smaller. Below this silver pyramid automatically opened up an entrance pathway. The pathway was filled with colorful lights. It was incomparably beautiful. So, enveloped in the purple flame, the godlike bald brute's figure flashed and entered the ship, after which the silver pyramid ship swiftly broke through space and left this deathly silent planet, rapidly accelerating, entering the universe, starting to rush towards Sanglan Star. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 339. Within the world within a world. Who? Tens of thousands of stellar-level adventurers came in from the black hole. They formed small teams and quickly flew in all directions. Third brother, where are we going? Han looked at Luo phone. We can't waste time. Thunder God was also very anxious. Luo Feng looked around. At this time, Hua, who had connected to the virtual universe network to report the news, opened his eyes, looking apologetically at Luo Feng and the others. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, my apologies. I have to follow the organization's orders to meet up. After which, their team swiftly flew away. Follow me. Luo Feng rose into the air. Hong, Thunder God, Tainanhe, and Ao Gu followed behind, the five-man team flying close to the ground. Before, there were tens of thousands of explorers densely packed together. However, after flying for a few minutes, Luo Feng's team couldn't see anyone else anymore. This world within a world was simply too huge. Tens of thousands of people entering was like a drop of water falling into the ocean. Third brother, we're just flying like this? Hong looked at Luo Feng. That's the only way. Luo Feng explained, a world within a world is a world. Who knew where the treasure was hidden? Therefore, he could only wander aimlessly like searching for a needle in a haystack. Fortunately, we can detect within a 20-kilometer radius. As long as there are any treasures within this range, we will definitely be able to discover them immediately. Luo Feng was very clear. With the vastness of the world within a world, this was his best method. Stick close to the ground, then let Babata search within 20 kilometers. If there is a treasure, immediately inform me. Big brother, second brother. Luo Feng smiled. Before Hurl went to gather with the North Dragon City people, you should have noticed something, right? Thunder God nodded. The major powers have arranged for their forces to join forces. A world within a world for treasures. Numbers were important, and the 4 great organizations and the 16 great families all had a lot of manpower in the world within a world. Once they gathered, they could form teams of hundreds of people. And for someone like Luo Feng who has no background, if he were to compete with a team of a few hundred people, he would be looking for death. Hence, we'll stay low profile for now. Luo Feng smiled. If we can find treasures, we'll find them. If we can't, we'll dig for universe crystals. Every world had its own universe crystals. In undeveloped worlds, there were even more universe crystals. This was the hard currency of the universe. Within the world within a world, there were no ferocious beasts, but a quiet world. So quiet, Luo Feng exclaimed. It's normal to be quiet. The ferocious beasts within the world of thunder are all specially transported over by the Universe Mercenary Alliance for the sake of selecting the trainee mercenaries. Thunder God muttered, actually, without any dire beasts, it's really boring to fly. Stop! A voice suddenly resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Stop! Luo Feng immediately used his spirit energy to communicate, roaring, his voice exploding in the ears of the other 4. Damn! Thunder God couldn't help but cover his ears, staring. Luo Feng, lower your voice. Luo Feng couldn't be bothered with his second brother's nonsense, his consciousness swiftly communicating with Babata, following which he looked around and roared, everyone be careful. We'll find a place and start drilling. Burrow into the ground. Hong and Thunder God were stunned. There are universe crystals 3,200 m underground. Luo Feng said softly. Universe crystals? F*CK. Universe crystals? Thunder God's eyes widened. This land is made of mud. 1,900 m down should be made of rocks. However, the rocks here shouldn't be too hard. Unlike the rocks in the Valley of Wind and Thunder, which have been tempered by the fierce winds and thunder for a long period of time, we should be able to dig through in a day. Luo Feng said softly. Universe crystals, that was wealth. And it was an absolute hard currency, much more valuable than the Ganwu dollars. And right now Luo Feng was lacking money. Accurately speaking, the moment the golden horned beast breaks through to the universe level, Luo Feng would be extremely short on money. The first account his teacher left him was 10 billion Ganwu dollars. Luo Feng was currently left with less than 5 billion Ganwu dollars. However, the moment the golden horned beast breaks through from the universe level 1 to the domain lord level 1, it would require 1,000 years. To evolve even faster, he would need to purchase many precious metals to form combinations. The metals required for the universe level were much more expensive than the star level, and the amount required was huge. This resulted in Luo Feng's 5 billion Ganwu dollars. Even if he used the best metal combinations, wouldn't even be enough for the universe-level golden horn beast for a month. Of course, if he swallowed normal alloy remains, etc., it would be cheaper, but the evolution speed would be slower. Luo Feng couldn't afford to waste time. The Newell Shan family's troops wouldn't take long before they reached Earth. Hence, he had to use the fastest speed to acquire enough money to allow the golden horn beast to evolve as fast as possible. Chi Ao Gu used the hybrid copper essence shard to quickly dig into the ground. Luo Feng followed closely behind. Hong and Thunder God followed too. Tai Nen, he was in charge of covering the surface, preventing the other star-level explorers from discovering them. That 900 m deep layer of soil only took half an hour to dig through. However, the rock layer below, the speed was greatly reduced. Too slow. Luo Feng was getting anxious. Looks like it'll really take a day. Luo Feng used the cloud contact vine to hold the shard and dig deeper. Maybe that'll be faster. Hong said, right? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Digging a tunnel for a person to move through underground was difficult, but to use a vine to penetrate it, that was much easier. Aogu, step back. Luo Feng said. Yes. Aogu moved to the side. Luo Feng dug to the very bottom. With a thought, the cloud contact armor that stuck to his skin immediately extended a vine. Simultaneously, the wrist guard on his wrist swiftly wrapped around the vine, and the wrist guard shrunk. This wrist guard was where Babata stayed. It was also Babata's storage space. This long vine was slender yet sturdy. There was even a leaf at the top. The leaf wrapped around the hybrid copper essence shard, swiftly extending downwards. The hybrid copper essence shard dug into the ground. The slender vine continuously extended downwards. It was simply too fast. Back on Earth, the Star Traveler Level 5 or 6 cloud contact vine. Its length was already shocking. The current Star Level 4 cloud contact vine could easily extend up to 10,000 m. Hence, after about 20 minutes or so, with the hybrid copper essence shard as the tip of the vine, it had already reached 200 m underground. 200 m underground. A huge dark blue, almost like the color of the starry sky. Within the rocks, a vine wrapped around the hybrid copper essence shard, extended over 1000 m, finally reaching here. On the vine, there was even a bracelet. Waha, keep it for me. Babata shouted proudly. The huge dark blue crystal immediately vanished, absorbed into the storage space. Within the storage space, this was an incomparably huge storage space. Even the Yun Mo planet ship stopped beside. The huge dark blue crystal appeared in mid-air. A metal robot immediately flew over. The robot's red eyes gleamed. A voice came from its mouth. Luo Feng, that idiot. He actually followed the rules of Earth's fighter teams to split the spoils. This universe crystal lord was his, and he was even prepared to give 40% to Hong and Thunder God. One idiot. This universe crystal is quite big, about 9,000 cubic meters. Cut it. Immediately, a few little robots appeared. They swiftly began to break down this huge universe crystal. The universe crystal's energy was shocking. However, breaking it down wasn't hard. In the universe, it was usually broken down into coin shapes. The universe's standard was that 1 cubic meter of universe crystal would be broken down into 1,000 universe dollars. Underground. Luo Feng's cloud contact armor extended vines swiftly retracted. Simultaneously, the bracelet flew back into Luo Feng's wrist, entering it. Babata, how many universe crystals did we get? Luo Feng asked within. Haha, our luck isn't bad. A world's scattered universe crystals are usually lesser. Only the central regions have more. I didn't expect you to actually get 3,000 cubic meters of universe crystals this time. Your luck isn't bad. Babata's voice resounded within Luo Feng's consciousness. Luo Feng nodded as he heard. Big brother, second brother, let's go up. Luo Feng said. The 5 swiftly flew towards the surface, very quickly breaking through. How was it? Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. How many universe crystals did we get? Hong asked. Our luck wasn't bad. Luo Feng looked around. It was pitch black and silent. Only the vast land could be vaguely seen. These scattered universe crystals in the world within a world, there wouldn't be many. We got 3,000 cubic meters this time. It's quite a lot. 3,000 cubic meters? Thunder God's eyes gleamed. 3,000 cubic meters is equivalent to 3 million universe dollars. One universe dollar, it seems like right now, can be exchanged for over 3,000 Ganwu dollars, meaning about 10 billion Ganwu dollars. 10 billion Ganwu dollars? Hong too felt that this number was huge. The first time my second brother and I went to the killing fields, we heard a universe-level warrior talking about discovering a new world. I heard he got 10,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. For us to get 3,000 cubic meters in one go, that's not bad. Hong exclaimed. Indeed, a sector lord's world. The first transaction is already so much. Luo Feng couldn't help but exclaim. In the Legends of the Universe Explorers, discovering a new world is a huge fortune. However, the first time a new world is discovered, it's usually snatched by the universe levels and even the domain lords. Let's not waste any more time. Luo Feng said, let's continue. The first transaction was 3,000 cubic meters. It was comparable to the wealth his teacher left him in his first account. This made Luo Feng even more excited. The Sector Lord's world was indeed a huge treasure trove. Even the most unassuming universe crystals were huge fortunes. However, the moment the golden horned beast reaches the universe level, the amount of money needed is shocking. This is far from enough. Let's continue. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. At this time, Luo Feng didn't even know the universe crystals he got this time were actually 9,000 cubic meters. It was just that some evil Babata purposely hid 6,000 cubic meters. Maybe the other teams, some had energy sensors. However, those devices, how many of them could match up to Babata's scanning? Under Babata's guidance, Luo Feng quickly discovered a second underground location with universe crystals. Who knows, relying on this Sector Lord's world, I might actually be able to get all the money the Golden Horned Beast needs to reach the universe level. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, controlling the vines and bracelet to drill into the ground. Drill. P.S. The second chapter has arrived. Tomato will continue writing the third chapter. Everyone, please vote for me. Recently, my popularity has been low. At this time, I hope everyone can support Tomato. Chapter 340. The central area of the world within a world. Universe crystals are the most abundant. However, the adventurers weren't stupid. The 2 sacred lands, the 4 major organizations, the 16 great families, as well as the low-level countries of the universe, and the adventurers of the various planets, were all fighting for the central region. The competition there was the most intense. Moreover, the hardness of the rocks there was very high, just like the wind and thunder canyon in the world of thunder. It would be very difficult to excavate it. We might as well do a large search around the world within a world. Scattered cosmos crystals, when gathered together, it's still quite astonishing. Babata persuaded. Luo Feng listened, simultaneously controlling the cloud contact vine to drill into the ground. After more than 3 hours, this was the 3rd place with universe crystals that they had found. I really struck it rich. Luo Feng was secretly happy. The first place was 3,000 cubes. The second location was slightly less, only 2,000 cubic meters. The third area, according to Babata's scan, it was 4,000 cubic meters. Chi-Chi, the cloud contact vine, quickly retracted. Babata, how many? For 1,000 cubic meters? Asked Luo Feng. For 1,000, Babata answered. Luo Feng looked up at Hong and Thunder God. For 1,000 cubic meters. Both Hong and Thunder God were delighted. Even though Luo Feng had helped them a lot, whether it was Hong, Thunder God, or Luo Feng, they were all very clear about the benefits of adventuring in the universe. If they didn't explain it clearly from the start, it would easily cause some conflicts in the future. This kind of thing was too common on Earth. Therefore, the 3 of them had already come to an agreement. If the three of them worked together, it would be 1/3 for each of them. If one person exerted the most strength while the other two assisted, the person who exerted the most strength would get 60%, while the other two would each get 20%. If only one person used his full strength and the other two didn't make a move, then it would be a different story. The person who put in the most effort would get 80%, while the other two would get 10%. Right now, we have a total of 9,000 cubic meters of universe crystal. Luo Feng was elated. Keep looking, Hong said worriedly. I'm afraid we don't have much time left. Once the people from the major organizations arrive, we won't be able to get any benefits. Okay. Luo Feng nodded, his expression serious. Those family descendants and the youngsters of the organization must have reported it to the organization. Very quickly, universe-level warriors and even domain lords. So much so that the peak martial power of the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire, the Sector Lord existence, might even come. By then, how would there be a chance for a Star State cannon fodder like him to intervene? A newly discovered world would make people go crazy and many experts would die. Not to mention a newly discovered world within a world. A world within a world, compared to normal worlds, it attracted many strong warriors. Let's not waste any more time. Luo Feng said softly. Let's continue searching for the next location. In the world within a world that was digging for treasures. The other teams may not be able to catch up to Luo Feng's group. However, even if they manage to acquire 100 cubic meters of universe crystals to normal star-level explorers, that was an astronomical amount of wealth. Hence, all the Star State adventurers started digging like crazy, unless he went to the central area and fought with tens of thousands of adventurers. Otherwise, in terms of digging efficiency, they really wouldn't be able to catch up to Luo Feng's squad. There was no other way. Babata's surveillance equipment was brought along on the Yun Mo planet ship. Ordinary sector lords didn't have such advanced equipment. A triangular charcoal black spaceship traveled through the universe and arrived at a space not far from Songlan Star. Two men dressed in silver-white capes stood shoulder to shoulder. On their chests hung 2-star mercenary badges. Brother Mingyu, this time us two brothers should be able to get some treasures. That Thunder Sector Lord was extremely famous back then. It's said that he had many treasures on him. When he died, he self-destructed. No one reaped any benefits, said a handsome man with long purple hair and a silvery white cloak. His eyes were as sharp as swords. Brother Donglai, you and I are pretty close to Songlan Star. We rushed over at the first moment. Getting some treasures is very normal. A tall and sturdy man with green and black hair said. These two could be said to be two extremes. One was purple-haired and handsome. The other was tall and sturdy, almost like he was made of steel. These two were the famous warriors of the Three Axe Mountain, Mingyu and Xiao Donglai. They were both top-notch fighters within the domain lord level. Of course, these two were also external members of the Virtual Universe Company's Warriors Department. The Virtual Universe Company's Warriors Department allowed many members to be in other smaller organizations. Compared to the Virtual Universe Company, even the Ganwu Empire didn't pose much of a threat, much less the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's Three Axe Mountain organization. Those star-level explorers, even though they were the first to discover the world within a world. However, the treasures within the world within a world aren't something small punks like them can take. For them to get some universe crystals is already considered a huge gain. They should be satisfied. The purple-haired man, Xiao Donglai, smiled. When we were at the star level, we didn't get any universe crystals. Mingyu exclaimed. The two domain lords naturally thought star-level explorers didn't even have the right to touch the treasures within the world within a world. Do you want to go to the planet's docking bay? Xiao Donglai asked. No need. Mingyu shook his head. I have property on Songlan Star. The ship can just fly in. It wouldn't be considered a provocation to the leader of the planet. This universe ship entered the interior of Songlan Star. Very quickly, it stopped in the air above the Universe Mercenary Alliance base. One handsome, one tall and sturdy, both wearing silver-white capes that represented their status. The two flew down. Mingyu Donglai. Immediately, a green-skinned man dressed in armor flew over. Mole, what's going on? Mingyu and Xiao Donglai, the two domain lords, flew over. The green-skinned man's eyes seemed to have another pair of pupils. He pointed unhappily at the villa, not far away. Look, that entrance to the world of thunder is being blocked by the Universe Mercenary Alliance, not letting anyone in. What's going on? Mingyu and Xiao Donglai were shocked. Right now, the various powers of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had sent their experts over. At this time, could it be that the person in charge of the Universe Mercenary Alliance base on Songlan Star would dare to block them? Let's go over, Mingyu said. Immediately, the three domain lords walked over. At the villa's entrance stood 12 universe-level warriors, each of them either cold, tyrannical, laughing, or gloomy. All in all, each of them had their own unique traits. The villa's guards didn't dare block them. However, at the villa's entrance stood a lady with short silver hair, dressed in a bright silver battle uniform. Lord Mingyu, Lord Donglai. Immediately, many of the universe-level warriors bowed. Mingyu and Xiao Donglai nodded. Looking at the lady, Mingyu said softly, "A world within a world has appeared in the world of thunder. It's no longer suitable to be an examination world. Since it's no longer suitable, then it should be a world that every mercenary has the right to enter. Why are you blocking the way?" "Who are you?" the lady with short silver hair shouted. "Mingyu, the leader of the Three-Axe Mountain, Mingyu." The tall and sturdy Mingyu stared at the lady. "Listen well, I'm Rania." The lady with short silver hair emitted a cold aura, as though she was the ruler of the surrounding area, a god. "Rania?" Mingyu and Xiao Dong creased their eyebrows. There were very few sector lords in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, and there weren't many domain lords either. As long as they had a bit of fame, they would recognize them. However, they had never heard of a female region lord called Rania. The world of thunder is an examination world. It's an examination world recognized by our Universe Mercenary Alliance, unless the Alliance revokes its status as an examination world. Otherwise, it will remain an examination world. As an examination world, used to select trainee mercenaries, only star-level explorers have a right to enter. "Mercenaries, you are forbidden from entering," the silver-haired lady shouted. Mingyu, Xiao Donglai, and Mole, the three domain lords, were furious. Rules? Sometimes there were rules to be followed, but sometimes there was no need to. "Rania, what's your status in the Universe Mercenary Alliance? Daring to block 3 Universe, 2-star mercenaries." Mingyu shouted. 8 hours later, the sky was already dark. At the entrance to the world of thunder, outside that villa, the number of domain lords had already reached 6, and the number of universe levels had reached 21. But when faced with this silver-haired woman, Rania, no one could enter. Rumble. The land and skies trembled slightly. Large amounts of people in the Universe Mercenary Alliance base looked up, only to see a silver-white pyramid appear in the air. Immediately, Mingyu and the others were shocked. Automaton ship? In the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, the number of warriors with automaton ships were few and far between, and the ship before them seemed to be rather high level. The silver-white pyramid suddenly disappeared. An incomparably sturdy bald man suddenly appeared, his eyes burning with flames. There was even a flame mark on his forehead, his gaze sweeping downwards, immediately causing all the domain lords below to feel their souls tremble. They couldn't help but lower their heads. The universe-level warriors had long since bowed respectfully in respect. Lord Mengzi, the domain lords and universe levels all bowed respectfully. And Mengzi, known as the Flame Sector Lord, within the Sector Lords of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, he was definitely a pinnacle warrior. His use of flames had already reached an inconceivable level. The burning of the flames was enough to cause space to collapse. "Move aside," and Mengzi's gaze swept towards the silver-haired lady. The silver-haired lady looked at Mengzi, her gaze stopping at the flame imprint between his eyebrows, revealing a strange smile. "And Mengzi, you've already reached the recognition of the universe origin laws. Indeed, a Sector Lord pinnacle warrior. However, this is a test world. a test world recognized by the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Only star-level explorers participating in the test can enter. No mercenaries are allowed in. I told you to move aside. And Mengzi's voice was thick, giving off a feeling that made one's soul tremble. Wong, the silver-haired lady's body, suddenly emitted a silver-white glow. Impudent! The silver-haired lady roared, pointing angrily at the absolute warrior in front of her. And Mengzi, you actually dare to challenge the Universe Mercenary Alliance's rules? The test world, only star-level explorers can enter. If you want to die, go ahead and enter. I dare guarantee that if you enter now, after the matter is over, our Universe Mercenary Alliance's law enforcement team will definitely kill you, causing your soul to dissipate into nothingness, leaving nothing behind. And the others, listen carefully. The silver-haired lady retreated to one side, pointing at the villa. If you want to die, go ahead and enter. At that moment, the 6 domain lords, the 21 universe-level warriors were all silent. Even the Flame Sector Lord Mengzi was deep in thought as he looked at the silver-haired lady before him, not daring to barge in. Time passed day by day. The number of warriors on Sanglan Star grew more and more. However, not a single warrior was able to enter the world of thunder. Almost as though the words, if you want to die, go ahead and enter, had a shocking amount of power. And within the world within a world, the star-level cannon fodder were all in a frenzy of excitement. Luo Feng and the others were also diligently grasping every bit of time they had. Chapter 341. In a vast sky, a huge ball of light floated high up in the sky, illuminating the entire world within a world. Rumble, the waterfall that was over 100 meters tall, crashed down, landing in the deep pool below. The pool water was still emitting waves of cold air. However, suddenly 5 silhouettes broke through the water, landing on the shore beside the pool. Under the light, their alloy armors reflected a cold light. These 5 people were Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, Tainan He, and Ao Gu. We've finally gotten something big. Thunder God sighed. I've been worried to death these past few days. The universe crystals scattered all over this world within a world are scattered and without any pattern. Sometimes we'll consecutively find a few universe crystal locations. Sometimes we won't even find one for a period of time. This is very normal. Luo Feng's gaze swept across the surroundings. The surrounding forest was silent. There were no other living beings. Third brother, how many universe crystals have we gotten so far? Hong asked. 3 days added up. 31,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. Luo Feng revealed a smile. This was a number worth being excited about. Ever since they entered the world within a world, their group had been searching the surrounding areas of the world within a world. However, this world within a world was simply too huge, with a length and width of close to 1,000,000 kilometers. Such a huge world. To truly search it all, they would have to run back and forth tens of thousands of times. No, even if they ran back and forth tens of thousands of times, they would only be able to search the entire surface of the world within a world at a depth of 20 kilometers. The depth of this world within a world was over 20 kilometers. Just searching 20 kilometers of the surface once would require thousands of years. It was because it was too huge that searching really depended on luck. In the first 10 hours of the first day, their group consecutively found 6 locations of universe crystals, a total of 15,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. However, until noon of the second day, after about 20 hours, they only found 1 location, and it was only 300 cubic meters of universe crystals. From noon of the second day until now, their luck only improved a little, consecutively finding 5 locations, especially the one in the deep pool. It had 6,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. 3 days added up, a total of 31,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. 31,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. That's 31 million universe dollars, worth close to 100 billion Ganwu dollars. Back then, my teacher only left me 10 billion Ganwu dollars. Unearthing a new world is really profitable. Luo Feng was filled with joy. His group had left Earth and arrived in the vast universe. This was his first time taking the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam, and he had already encountered such a good thing. Luo Feng. In theory, there should be universe warriors entering the world within a world to chase us away. Hong creased his eyebrows. How come until now? There's no news at all. It is quite strange. Luo Feng shook his head. Even though the world of thunder is huge, from the border to the canyon of wind and thunder, with a universe level's power, without fear of the ferocious beasts, one day is enough. It's been 3 days in the world within a world. We haven't even discovered a single universe level, much less a domain and sector lord. Why are you thinking so much? Since they didn't come in, let's continue digging for universe crystals. If we miss this opportunity, we won't get another one. Thunder God urged. That makes sense. Hong was also looking forward to it. In the universe, even planets could be bought and sold. Even the Muya crystals used to feed the cloud contact vine could be bought and sold without restraint. Anyway, as long as one had enough wealth, even a universe-level slave could be bought. As a group of 3 that entered the universe from Earth, Hong, Thunder God, and Luo Feng naturally had to madly dig for universe crystals. With enough wealth, Earth would be able to develop better with the help of the 3 of them. They were the pioneers of Earth's humanity. Let's go. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, filled with desire. Let's go. Thunder God and Hong were the same. The 5 of them became 5 beams of light. Under the search equipment, they continued the process of searching and digging in the world within a world. Songlan Star. At the entrance to the world of thunder, within the garden of that historical villa, a bald, muscular man stood there like a mountain range with his eyes closed. However, the flame imprint between his eyebrows gave off a feeling that made people's hearts tremble, causing them to involuntarily submit to him. Looking at the flame imprint, it was like an ant looking at a tall mountain. He stood there, the space around him trembled slightly. Occasionally a flame would burst forth from his body. In front of him stood the silver-haired Lady Rania. As for the other domain lords and universe levels, they were all outside the villa garden. Within the garden, there was only Mengzi and Rania. Mengzi, why haven't you entered? A booming voice resounded throughout the garden. Dressed in dark blue armor, wearing a helmet, a man even more sturdy than Mengzi suddenly appeared like a god. He stepped in the air, every step causing the land around him to tremble. When he landed in the garden, the entire garden immediately disappeared. The surroundings became a vast land. Beside it was even a tall mountain. While chatting, he changed the land, controlling the land. Who are you? You're the one who stopped in Mengzi. The tall and sturdy man looked at the silver-haired lady, his eyes shining brilliantly, as though the sun was illuminating the entire land. Rania, Universe Mercenary Alliance, Ganwu Department's Envoy Rania. The silver-haired lady looked at him. You should be the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's sacred land, Black Dragon Mountain Sector, Lord Ba Si Ha. Envoy. The tall and sturdy man looked at the silver-haired lady in front of him. Looking suspiciously at Mengzi, a voice resounded in Mengzi's mind. And Mengzi, who is she? She seems to have some sort of background to actually be able to call out my name. Just what is her identity? I don't know. And Mengzi said indifferently. If you don't know, why would you stop because of a domain lord blocking your way? Basiha creased his eyebrows. I don't know who she is, but I know that behind her is an Undying. Mengzi said, Undying? Towering waves rose in Basiha's heart, but on the surface he was like a rock, appearing very calm. After that, Basiha's gaze swept towards a girl named Rania. His world energy flowed around the silver-haired girl, and he could faintly sense a fluctuation that made one's heart tremble. Lord Basiha. The silver-haired lady's eyes were calm. This world of thunder is the Universe Mercenary Alliance's designated examination world, unless the Alliance revokes its status. Otherwise, it will remain an examination world. Only star-level explorers participating in the mercenary trainee exams can enter. Others cannot. If one were to barge in, it would be a violation of the Alliance's rules. The silver-haired lady looked at Basiha. Basiha immediately had a headache. To think that he, Basi Ha, had an esteemed position even within one of the two sacred lands of the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. He had an extremely high position. Even the Emperor of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had to give him face. However, at this moment, facing this silver-haired lady, he had no choice. Want to kill the lady? He could kill her with a flip of his hand. However, firstly, this silver-haired lady's background wasn't small. Secondly, she had made it very clear barging in was a violation of the Alliance's rules. Who would dare to mess around? Offending the Universe Mercenary Alliance, that was simply courting death. Actually, the rules were the rules, but the people in charge of the Universe Mercenary Alliance turned a blind eye, and the matter passed. Who would go against the rules and offend a group of strong warriors? However, this silver-haired lady's background was obviously not small and had no fear of offending them. Amungzi, where did she come from? Basi Ha creased his eyebrows, his heart filled with rage. I don't know. And Mungzi communicated in a low voice. One day later, the third sector lord arrived, dressed in a dark red battle uniform. With a black cape draped over his shoulders, the devilishly handsome man seemed to have teleported. With a flash of lightning in the sky, he appeared in the villa's garden. The handsome, devilishly handsome man had a lightning mark on his forehead. When he closed his eyes, there was lightning flickering. Rania, why are you here? The handsome, devilishly handsome man stood in the garden, frowning as he looked at Rania. 3-Axe Mountain, Jiang Tian Chun. Amungzi and Ba Si Ha were shocked. In terms of strength, Amungzi was much stronger than Ba Si Ha. However, compared to Jiang Tian Chun, he paled in comparison. Jiang Tian Chun was definitely one of the top 5 warriors in the entire Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. Jiang Tian Chun was an absolute warrior that represented the 3-Axe Mountain, and he held an important position in the Black Dragon Mountain department of the Virtual Universe Company. I'm representing my teacher to patrol the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, and coincidentally found this matter. Of course, I have to interfere. Rania looked at Jiang Tian Chun. I'm representing my teacher now. Naturally, I forbid anything that goes against the Alliance's rules. The handsome, devilishly handsome Jiang Tian Chun creased his eyebrows. Pa! 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 Lightning flashed all around. What nonsense! Jiang Tian Chun was furious. What nonsense! Rania raged. Jiang Tian Chun, these are the rules of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. It's not up to you to interfere. I can't stop you, but I'll record everything that happens and send it to my teacher. Whoever dares to brazenly violate the Alliance's rules, I'll report it to the Alliance and get killed by the law enforcers. Their souls will be shattered and turned into nothingness. Don't blame me for not reminding you. Jiang Tian Chun squinted. Amungzi and Ba Si Ha both admired this lady. Powerful background, but daring to go against Jiang Tian Chun, she really had courage. By doing this, you've offended the warriors of the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. Jiang Tian Chun frowned as he looked at Rania. Don't use that to scare me. Whoever dares to enter, I'll definitely follow the rules and report it to the Alliance. Rania said coldly. Jiang Tian Chun shook his head. Your strength is far from your teacher's, but your temper is quite similar. And Mungzi, Ba Si Ha, I will arrange for our Black Dragon Mountain Starfield's 4 organizations and the 2 Holy Lands to hold a meeting. Jiang Tian Chun looked toward Mungzi and Ba Si Ha. And Mungzi and Ba Si Ha nodded their heads. Jiang Tian Chun, what's wrong? Are you going to gather people to suppress me? Rania's aura became even more imposing. She was annoyed. If she wasn't a fierce dragon that didn't cross the river, she was really prepared to shoulder it. You've already taken out the Alliance's rules. Who would dare to fight with you? Jiang Tian Chun glanced at her. Don't worry, I will follow the Alliance's rules. I definitely won't send any universe-level, domain lord or sector lord in. At the same time, he sent a thread of consciousness into the virtual universe network. Maintaining a clear mind in reality, he sent a sliver of his consciousness into the virtual universe. To Sector Lord, it was very easy. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 342. Virtual Universe. The sky was a deep blue, pure and without a single flaw. Clouds surrounded the surroundings, and in this cloudy space, a 10 m diameter, huge round stone table floated in midair. The table's surface was covered in scars. Around the floating stone table floated many chairs made of the same material. Shwa, shwa, shwa. One silhouette after another appeared in midair. Amongst them were Jiang Tianchun and Mengzi and Ba Ha. They each chose a chair and sat down. I represent the three-axe mountain. Jiang Tianchun sat on the chair and said coldly, I represent the ice seagull god country. Dressed in a snow-white robe, a lady with almost transparent long hair smiled. I represent the black dragon mountain. His face was covered in scales, revealing only a pair of blood-red eyes. A 4-meter-tall sector lord said solemnly. 12 silhouettes. They represented the 4 organizations, 2 sacred lands, and 16 families, of which the 16 families only sent 1 representative, while the 4 organizations and 2 sacred lands sent a total of 11 sector lords. Then, let the meeting begin. The scaled giant from the Black Dragon Mountain said solemnly. The entrance to the World of Thunder is currently guarded by the Universe Mercenary Alliance Ganwu Department's Special Envoy Rania, forbidding any non-stellar level explorers from entering. Jiang Tianchun's voice resounded in midair. This Rania, what's her identity? A gentle voice resounded from the female sector lord from the Ice Seagull God Country. Her teacher is the Ganwu Universe Country's 3rd Army General. Jiang Tianchun said, the 3rd Army General dotes on her a lot. 3rd Army General? The other 11 sector lords were shocked. Right, hence we can't force our way in. Jiang Tianchun's gaze swept past the other sector lords. Hence I think, there's only one way, to arrange for a large group of Star Level 9 explorers to enter the World of Thunder under the guise of participating in the mercenary trainee exams. Good idea. Jiang Tianchun's words made the rest of the sector lords nod in agreement. If anyone has any other opinions, please speak. Jiang Tianchun said. With Rania blocking the entrance, who would dare to brazenly go against the Alliance's rules? The scaled giant laughed softly. All right, Brother Jiang, we'll do as you say. We'll arrange for a large group of Star Level 9 explorers to enter. How many will each family arrange? How do we determine the number? Momentarily, the 12 world overlords started to discuss amongst themselves. The more people they sent out, the more advantageous it would be for them to fight for the treasures. Actually, it was mainly a dispute between the 4 organizations and the 2 holy lands. Each of the 16 families can only send 10,000 Star State adventurers. Each of the 4 organizations can send at most 200,000 Star State adventurers. The 2 sacred grounds can only send 500,000 Star State adventurers each. The outcome of the summit meeting in the Black Dragon Mountain Star Field was quickly decided by the 4 organizations and the 2 holy lands. Every organization had sector lords, domain lords, and universe levels under them. According to their strength and position, the number of slots they could obtain would naturally differ too. Sanlan Star. As the 2 sacred grounds for organizations and 16 families jointly sealed the World of Thunder, forbidding any other Star State adventurers from entering. Wow, so many people are flying over. It's so dark. How many are there? In the Universe Mercenary Alliance base, a few adventurers stared in shock at the sky, only to see a huge battleship floating in mid-air. At the same time, large amounts of dark gray armored warriors flew downwards, covering the entire sky. In an instant, they all flew one by one towards the entrance to the World of Thunder, that villa. What's going on? Rania, dressed in a bright silver armor, shouted, Lord, we are all Star State adventurers. We've all accepted the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam mission. The leader of the team, a star-level fighter, said respectfully, all here to take the Mercenary Trainee exam? Rania was shocked, looking at the team in front of her. The queue was so long that it stretched all the way to the sky. How many people were there? However, Rania had conducted a large-scale test. This long line of people were actually all Star State adventurers, and they had all accepted the Mercenary Trainee exam mission. Within the villa's garden, and Mengzi, Ba Ha, and Jiang Tian Chun watched as the team swiftly entered the world of thunder. And Mengzi, you sure are fast. Basiha looked, and Mengzi, 10,000-star level 9 warriors, just right. And Mengzi grinned. Everyone, I'll be making a move first. Even Newell and Shan could pull out 10,000-star level 9 warriors, much less sector lords. To them, finding 10,000-star level 9 warriors was as easy as breathing. Just like in Mengzi, just his territory alone had 3 galaxies, not to mention the many who worshipped him. Since then, in the airspace above Songlan Star, teams after teams arrived. They were all-star level explorers and almost all-star level 9 warriors. Whether it was a small team of 10 people, or a team of over 1,000, or even a large team of over 10,000. Team after team of star level 9 warriors entered the world of thunder in a single file. Instead, many of the adventurers who had originally planned to take the mercenary trainee exam were all stopped. Songlan Star, Universe Mercenary Alliance base, within a tavern beside. Mingyu and Xiao Donglai, the 2 domain lords, sat there. In the entire tavern, other than the domain lords, there were only universe levels. Normal adventurers wouldn't even dare enter. At this time, a man dressed in a dark green armor, with pointy ears, walked in, his gaze sweeping the area. He first noticed Mingyu and Xiao Donglai. Lord Mingyu, Lord Donglai, Newell and Shan, you've brought your men here too. Mingyu and Xiao Donglai nodded. The 2 of them were domain lords. However, this Newell and Shan in front of them had the Battle Axe Fighter title. Back when they were at the universe level, they didn't even have the title. Hence, towards Newell and Shan, they had a sense of respect. Just a few men. Newell and Shan smiled. They're all outside. Mingyu and Xiao Donglai glanced outside. Outside the window, on the empty ground, a team dressed in battle armor was queuing up. Not a few. There's about 200 of them. Mingyu praised. Universe levels, some only get 50 slots, some only get 100. A team of 200-star level 9 warriors from Newell and Shan family walked towards the villa, following the order, entering in a single file. These 200 people were handpicked by Newell and Shan from the family and the Newell and Shan guards. They were all-star level 9 warriors with high battle abilities. I'm just trying my luck. Newell and Shan smiled. HM, go ahead. Mingyu said indifferently. Yes. Newell and Shan bowed and walked to a corner of the tavern, sitting with 2 universe levels he was familiar with. In the entire tavern, there was a group of universe levels and a few domain lords. Everyone was waiting here, waiting for a period of time for the star level 9 explorers from the various organizations to come out. In the tavern, by the window, Mingyu and Xiao Donglai were conversing. There's so many people going in. Xiao Donglai exclaimed. 2 sacred lands, for organizations, 16 families, adding it up to about 2 million star-level explorers. Mingyu exclaimed too, look, the star-level explorers outside preparing to enter the world of thunder. They've already formed a long queue. The queue has even reached the skies. Yes. Xiao Donglai looked outside through the window. A huge black mass, almost like a black cloud covering the sky. You and I both send 1,000 people in. Who knows what we'll get? Xiao Donglai shook his head. Star levels fly slowly, and there are ferocious beasts obstructing them. Even if they rely on their numbers and dare to charge in, flying to the Canyon of Wind and Thunder would probably take 7 to 8 days. Mingyu shook his head. That's why, with the time advantage, the group of people who are already in the world of thunder are the ones with the highest chance of getting the treasures of the world within a world. Xiao Donglai nodded, after which he asked, how many people under you have been in the world of thunder since the beginning? Nobody. You know our 3-axe mountain doesn't nurture young people. Mingyu shook his head, suddenly remembering something, his eyes flashing. Right, I recruited 3 young people back then. I persuaded them to go on an adventure in the universe. From the looks of it, the 3 of them were quite moved. If they wanted to adventure, it's very likely that they would take the mercenary trainee exam. 3 young people. Xiao Donglai was shocked. Right, it was Lord Man Luo who told me to pay attention to 3 people called Luo, Feng, Hong, and Thunder God. Mingyu let out a smile. I'll contact them. Luo, Feng, Hong, Thunder God? Xiao Donglai mumbled. To be noticed by Lord Man Luo? World within a world, it was nighttime. It was already the 8th day in the world within a world. In the plains, wild grass grew, the ground slightly shook, and with a pung, 5 silhouettes flew out. I haven't rested for 8 days. I'm really tired. Why haven't those universe warriors arrived yet? Thunder God cried out weirdly. You've gotten the best of it, and you're still pretending to be innocent. Hong laughed. It's quite tiring. However, it's tiring and satisfying. Luo Feng was extremely happy. Thunder God nodded. Right, satisfying? Digging for universe crystals is really satisfying. Thinking about Earth's too. 1 billion Gamu dollars, and we've already dug about 96,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. That's close to 300 billion Gamu dollars. It can be said that we've dug up over 100 Earths. This comparison is interesting. Luo Feng laughed loudly. 96,000 cubic meters of universe crystals, worth 300 billion Gamu dollars. A very large number. To a universe-level warrior, this was a huge sum of wealth. One had to say, excavating a world was indeed a very satisfying thing. HM? Luo Feng was stunned. What's up? Hong and Thunder God looked at him. Wait a moment. I'll go into the virtual universe network, Luo Feng said, before closing his eyes. Black Dragon Mountain Island, 9-star bay. Luo Feng appeared out of thin air before his own house. With a glance, he saw Su Exin sitting beside, searching for information. Luo Feng? Su Exin stood up excitedly. You haven't been in the virtual universe network these few days. I've been very busy these few days. Time is wealth. Time is power. These few days, I can't waste a single minute or second. Luo Feng laughed. These words made Su Exin suspicious. What do you mean? I can't waste a single minute or second these few days. Just where have you been these few days? I'll tell you when I get back. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. A screen appeared before him. There was a communication request. It was a communication request from the Virtual Universe Company's Warriors Department stationed in Black Dragon Mountain, Mingyu. D. Luo Feng answered. Lord Mingyu. Luo Feng smiled at Mingyu. Luo Feng, let me ask you, are you currently in the world within a world in the world of thunder?